And here we are. Hello, folks. How are you? We finished on Sunday. Was it Sunday? Was it really? Is it really Sunday? I think it was. We finished on Sunday, like kind of at the end of chapter 3, but with like this tiny bit left. So I am here to do that tiny bit. Just a quick content warning for anybody who did not get it before. This game is full of content warnings. Body horror, gore, parental abuse, poisoning, non-consensual drug use, matricide, depression, murder, guns, being held against one's will, car accidents, parental death, possibly unwanted advances, decapitation, dismemberment, PTSD, memory loss, unreality, gaslighting, and many other things listed in that post. So here we are. But let's load our Pibs game. That's we've got powerful build and street smarts going. So okay, so we just defeated the ghost. Tabitha stepped in front of the bullet for us there and lost years of her life. The ride back is nearly silent. Tabitha is visibly exhausted, her face drawn and pale. Fresh furrows have formed at the corners of her mouth and at the edges of her eyes, and her once uniformly sandy blonde hair is painted with streaks of white. I should have been the one to take on that burden. Why did you step in? Sybil was right. It wouldn't have been fair to you. Thanks, Tabitha. I mean it. We're family. We do things for each other. No need to thank me. So, I guess ghosts are real. Yeah, I guess so. Feels like people should be making a bigger deal about this. You'd be surprised how quickly people adjust to terrible realities. I'd much rather move on from what happened tonight than make a big deal out of it, and I'm sure most of your little friends feel the same way. You slide back into silence as the car makes its way back to the estate. So supposedly I should be able to tell her about the strike. As the car pulls up to the estate, you and your cousin wordlessly make your way to the foyer. Tabitha noticeably strains to open the front door. I've never been so tired in my life. I'm going to bed. Please don't get sucked into any more ghost dimensions before I can wake up and rescue you again. Yeah. Not to pile everything on right now, but your workers are planning a strike. Are you serious? Ugh, I knew that's what they were ramping up to, but they're bluffing. They value their paychecks too much to take on that kind of risk. I'm sure this will all blow over soon. If it doesn't, well, I guess this bad week will just keep getting worse. I'm sorry, I just feel absolutely awful right now. Don't think I can handle any more talking. I gotta sleep. Don't keep poking around looking for trouble. You just have to make it to the funeral 4 more days. That's all. And then the bus comes. I'd like to stay in touch after all this is done. ... Maybe we could do that. It has been kind of lonely being the only Scarlet in our generation. It would be nice to have someone else in the family. We'll see how things go. Anyway, night. See you tomorrow. Time to go to bed. You don't even notice yourself entering the guest room and falling into bed. Suddenly, you're just there, buried under your family's musty covers. It's Wednesday night. Nearly half a week has passed since your first arrival in town, and a little over half a week remains until the bus comes to take you home. The spirit of Charles Shaw Jr. has been put to rest at the expense of unknown years of your cousin's life. The specter of the night's events will linger over her for every day she has left, a grim reminder of the price she willingly paid for the crimes of a great-grandmother she despised. Maybe her decision will bring her peace of mind. Maybe she can still right the capsized ship of her broken life. Or maybe things will only spiral out of hand from here. I bet it's that last one. Okay, so let's make sure to save at the end of 4. So we ran out of spots here. This was our tell her in advance one. So this one was our... let's just keep overwriting it, because this is like... yeah, this is the one real one. Okay, let's return and continue. No recap needed. I do want to look at the journal, though. So... this is our recap, right? So we didn't take the peanuts, we found an opossum, we snuck into the forbidden wing of the estate, narrowly escaped danger in the woods, and punched a ditchling in the face. I am the danger. Met Stella's friend Kanika and her mother Sybil, and learned about ditchlings. Returned to the cousin's estate before going to bed. Tuesday, woke up in the guest room, checked in on the dresser possum, found a sickly boot print, told Avery a half-truth about last night's encounter in the woods, then visited them in the diner and took the opportunity to set the record straight about last night, walked with Stella to the mines, spoke to 2 groups of miners, visited Tabitha's office while investigating the mining camp, managed to grab Wayne's mask during a confrontation, warned Tabitha about the teen sneaking to show mine and waited for her, went after Becca and Alexis at the cost of Rosalina's foot, which we cannot see. Found a second and then on Wednesday we found a second opossum in the drawer. Took a shower. Met Janie, the pastor's wife, who cleans the estate once a week. Hospital had to amputate Rosalina's foot. Went on an errand with Tabitha. Sybil is definitely her dealer. Ran into Duke and met Beau, his giant of a son. Julius tried to steal Big Betty, their prized pumpkin. Went to talk to Isaac, a third miner, and learned about a brewing strike. He thinks something happened to Wayne and suspects foul play. Spent some quality time with Tabitha. I think she's finally warming up to me. She is. Met the mayor dog. Met Scarlet Hollow's creepy pastor. Had dinner at Reese's. There's something hidden in the clinic. And it wants me to find it. Invited Tabitha and Avery ghost hunting. Tabitha sacrificed unknown years of her life to exercise the spirit of Charles Shore Jr., a man our great-grandmother murdered. Made plans with Sybil to talk about mysterious goings-on over tea tomorrow. Well, and now it's tomorrow. All right. Last night seemed so far away. You can almost pretend the horrors you witnessed in the annex were nothing but a nightmare chased away by the harsh morning light. An involuntary shudder runs down your spine, but your thoughts are interrupted by the buzz of your phone on the nightstand. Hey, hope you're feeling okay. Tabitha, too, still trying to wrap my head around what she did last night. I haven't been able to get a hold of Stella today. How about you? You check your messages. There's nothing from Stella. You dial Stella. Hey, what's up? Haha, just kidding. I'm not able to come to the phone right now. This is actually a recording of my voice. It isn't really me. Technology, huh? Anyway, leave a message, or don't. I never check this thing. The mailbox is full and can't accept messages at this time. Haven't heard from her either. That's not good. I think we should try looking for her. Let's meet up in town. Looks like you have your morning plans in order. Okay, let's visit the opossum. You open the drawers. The 2 opossums stare up at you. They both have a bread now. That's nice. You wave at them. They continue to stare up at you blankly in response. Okay. You close the drawers. This is their home now, and there's nothing you can do to change that. You make your way to the closet. There's no denying it. The doll moved at some point since your most recent visit. But your long-dead relative's creepy doll isn't the only thing that's different. Someone was in here. Something to mull over for the rest of the day. Okay, let's take a shower. You might as well take a shower before starting the rest of the day. You step into the guest bathroom and into the shower. It feels good to wash away the grime of last night's haunting, but eventually you'll have to leave this place and confront the rest of the day. In the meantime, you... think Think about your cousin and the burdens she took upon herself last night to protect you. You're done here. You turn off the faucet and dry yourself off. And let's head downstairs. It's time to face your cousin. This is the first run where I got a chance to tell her about the strike first. In the light of day, she looks even more physically worn than she did last night. Her blonde hair is streaked with white, and fresh creases line her features, accentuating her frown. They weren't bluffing after all. They're actually striking, and this week, of all weeks, as if I didn't have enough on my plate already. I had time to make some arrangements last night, so at least the mine can keep running on a skeletal crew while I sort this out. Thanks for telling me. Street smart. There's an almost cool confidence in the way your cousin talks about the strike. They're in disarray. You risked your life to pull those kids out of the mine the other day. They should get off your back. You were the one who made us go after them, Pibbs. But I guess no one really knows that outside of the two of us and that Rosalina girl. Maybe it's an angle worth leaning on. I don't know. You want me to infiltrate the strike? Even if they didn't already know you're my cousin, that seems like a great way to throw gasoline on a fire. This is my problem to fix. Your only job is to stay safe until the funeral is over. You seem confident about the strike. What have you got planned? I've got a lot of things planned. I already secured enough manpower to keep the mine's basic operations in order. From there, it's just a matter of squeezing the workers until they break. Most of them will be back to work by the end of the week. I promise. Do you know what the strikers even want? I haven't seen the list of demands. I'm sure it's just the usual. I promise you that if any one of them were in my shoes for a month, they'd be singing a different tune. Perhaps I should not mention scabs in this conversation with Tabitha about strikes. Usually I'm pro-union, but... Come on, your mom just died. Can they not? Right, let me at least get her in the ground first. But it's fine. I'm going to sort this out. I just need to keep things together long enough for the mine to get back on its feet. Then everyone will be happy and we can all go back to normal. I'm gonna ask her about the scabs, and then I'm gonna rewind. So, you're bringing in scabs? Yes, I'm bringing in scabs, if that's what you want to call them. There's plenty of miners who are going to report to work today for business as usual. Look, you don't know how hard this is. I'm just trying to keep the place running, and every day it finds a new and hellish way to collapse around me. Yeah, let's like not use that. Okay. Yeah, I think we're gonna return there. Have you heard anything from Stella? I can't get a hold of her. No, but that's not exactly newsworthy. I'm sure she's just processing what happened last night. We weren't the only ones who were traumatized. Do you regret what happened last night? I appreciate your concern, but I'd rather not talk about it. Does that answer your question? I hope other people in town finally start treating you better. They've already made up their minds about me. It doesn't matter what other people think, though. They don't know me. How are you holding up? You look, drop it, Pibbs. Oh. Yeah, I should just drop it, in fact. Yeah, let's drop that. You probably should get going, right? Yeah. I've dawdled long enough. Stay safe. No more hijinks. ... But let me know if you get in trouble, okay? Tabitha slips past you, her heavy boots thudding down the hall as she marches away to face her employees. Time to figure out the rest of your day. Well, let's eat a PB&J. If Stella's MIA, who knows when you'll get a chance to eat. You make yourself a PB&J in anticipation for the long day ahead of you. And that's that. It's time to head to town. You head to the front door and begin your trek to the town below. The sun shines down through a thin layer of clouds, illuminating the path in a watery gray light. Look at all these ditchlings, just like everywhere. You can't help but feel countless eyes watching you from the tree line, a feeling that reminds you of your time in the woods with Stella. Ditchlings shouldn't be out in the middle of the day, though. They're getting bolder. To your surprise, you find a familiar face making its way up the path towards you. Hey, I was just coming up to see you. Hope you were able to get some sleep after everything that happened last night. And I hope Tabitha got some rest, too. How is she today? Okay. She's back at work already, what with the strike and all. I guess the cat's out of the bag then, isn't it? Right, yeah, not a great time for her to take a break. It isn't much yet, but any sort of labor action happening in Scarlet Hollow is new. You know what? I haven't flirted with Avery yet. You were coming up to see me? That's sweet. What can I say? I'm someone who knows what they want. I would have walked up here at the crack of dawn, but I figured I should let you sleep at least a little longer, though not too much longer. I had to make sure you didn't go running off into trouble, not without me. There's ditchlings everywhere now, even though it's daytime. Avery turns to survey the tree line. I noticed a few on my way up. They're kind of funny, now that I'm getting a good look at them, with their scrunched up little Shar-Pei faces. So, should I be worried about those things? I know they're a bad omen or something, but, are they dangerous? They're not going to eat me if I take a wrong turn, right? They're not a big deal. Just hit him with a stick or something. I punched one and left an imprint of my fist in its face. Wayne stepped on one and it exploded. They're not very threatening. Maybe they're not threatening to you. You're kind of ripped. And that Wayne guy, he's not human, right? Still, if you're not worried, I won't worry either. I'll just be sure to keep my eyes out for a stick, I guess. You don't have to put on a front. Last night was a lot. I get it. I appreciate the concern, but I'm all right. You're talking to an expert at vibing. I know most folks would probably be freaking out or having some kind of existential crisis, but that's not how I deal with heavy stuff. Surprisingly enough, Avery's mostly telling the truth. They're fine. I'm not 100% chill today, I'll admit it. Feel kind of bruised, both physically and spiritually, if that makes sense. But that's just part of life, right? Nobody makes it to the end completely unscathed, and I'm glad my new emotional baggage comes from a ghost instead of some boring normal trauma. The supernatural angle takes the edge off a little bit. Have you heard anything from Stella? I haven't heard from her, though we don't text much, and I haven't checked with Winnie to see if she came in for an early breakfast or anything. But if you haven't heard from her, that doesn't sound great. Seeing her like that last night was awful. She's usually so unflappable. Kanika and I are meeting up to look for Stella. Want to come? Absolutely. I told Winnie I'd be coming in late today, so I've got time. Let's head back to town. Yeah, good idea. You and Avery start back down the path to town. It isn't long until you once again find yourself on the main street of Scarlet Hollow. Pibbs, you made it, and you picked up an Avery along the way. Hope you're both doing okay, emotionally. Yeah, I'm not too bad. Better after seeing Pibbs. That's good. I feel like I got crushed by a steamroller or something. Joints all out of whack, totally exhausted and super foggy. Mom has been insisting I caught a cold, and I wasn't buying it, but as of this morning, I've come around. It's definitely something beyond exhaustion, even considering the ridiculously stressful week we've all had. But I'm not going to let that stop me from looking for Stella. I was kind of surprised you reached out to me, after all the issues between you and Tabitha. I care more about finding Stella than I do about the ongoing feud between me and your cousin. And I'm not going out there alone, because the last thing I want is to go missing while looking for someone who went missing. We do everything in groups from now on. Besides, after last night, what your cousin did went against everything I thought I knew about her. It's definitely making me question if I actually know the real Tabitha, or I've just been tricked into buying some front she puts up to seem intimidating. I don't like how much I've been forced to question my perception of reality lately. This sucks. People shouldn't be judged by their family anyways. Whatever people may think of your cousin, it has nothing to do with you. I'm supposed to see your mom at some point today. Maybe she'll finally shed some light on things. I'm not sure what she's planning to tell you today that she couldn't have told all of us last night. Maybe she's going to read your fortune. After last night, I wouldn't doubt that she actually could. Your mom's always had a bit of that Glinda vibe going for her. Yeah, maybe I should stop making fun of her whole New Age mystic thing. A lot's happened in the past couple of days. Ugh, I need to take a page out of Stella's book and just block this shit out. I need to be focused. I can't keep having all these existential crises. Crises? There'll be plenty of time for tea after we've found Stella. Let's not forget that Wayne threatened her last night. You don't think he actually followed through on that, do you? I've been trying not to think about it. Does anyone know what happened to that guy? Some kind of accident or something? Mom says he's sick, and I don't doubt that he is. But with all the weird magic stuff going on, I'm starting to wonder if it's normal illness or something else. Okay, let's get started. I don't want to waste another minute. Where to first? We should check in with Oscar. He's smart. Maybe he'll know what to do. I hope nothing else happened after we all went home last night. They're so brave for sleeping in that house after everything we went through. I'd rather sleep in the woods with the ditchlings than some place that was that haunted. Your mom said it's safe, and I'm inclined to believe her. Why would she lie? Well, friends, because she's a fucking evil, sus person. Anyway, but how would she know that? Magic, probably. But there's only one way to find out. Let's go! Morning light streamed in through the library's large windows. In the bright daylight, it's once again a place of comfort, Old Menace having fled in the wake of Charles Shaw Jr.'s departure. No ghost, thank God. I was not up for an encore. Yeah, it's gone, just like your mom said it would be. I guess Oscar must be in back. I know that's where I'd be if I finally got my house back. I've always been surprised at how unsupervised this place is. Sometimes it feels like anyone could just walk in and do whatever they wanted. Like what? Steal books? I mean, they could, right? I'm not saying anyone would. I'm just saying that people in this town trust each other a lot. It's nice. Let's go find Oscar. You make your way back towards the annex. It feels strange to be back here in the light of day, as if the events of the previous evening were all just a terrible dream. This hallway really takes me back. Feels like it was only yesterday that we were last here, blissfully unaware that our entire lives were about to change forever. It was only yesterday. I know. Kanika knocks on the door. Oh, good morning. It's so good to see all of you. Please, come on in. You're doing really great, Rosalina. Not a lot of kids your age can take shots that well. You're being so brave. You don't have to talk to me like I'm 5. But you are brave. You really are, Rosalina. You're like so badass. Alexis is right. This is more than most people have to deal with in their whole lives, and here you are taking it like a champ. Dr. Kelly's kind demeanor vanishes as she turns and glares at you. Oh, I see we have visitors. How are you doing, Rosalina? tired, my leg hurts a lot, but the medicine is helping. It's not so bad now. Plus, I got to lie down in an actual bed last night, and you have no idea how good that felt. Thanks, Pibs. I can't believe you got any sleep last night after all that ghost stuff. I just sat on the couch with all the lights on. I don't think I slept at all. I really needed some rest after, the hospital and my foot. Your body is desperately trying to get you to rest. All that activity yesterday was pretty brutal on your injury. It's never going to stop hurting if you keep pushing yourself. So, what are you not going to do today? Anything? That's right. You're staying right here. No walking around, no investigating haunted houses. Sorry, Dr. Kelly. I should have been better at stopping her. I take full responsibility. As her father, I should have no need for anyone to step in to take blame for anything. It's the hospital's fault for sending her home at all. It's gross negligence, if you ask me. But give it time, then you can do all the activities you want. All right, Rosalina? Have any of you seen Stella since last night? Not since dinner. She hasn't gotten in touch with any of you? Nope. We have no clue where she's gone. That's not good. I haven't seen her since she ran off last night. I feel terrible. I should have done a better job warning her. Stella was practically banging down your door trying to get evidence of ghosts. I don't think you were going to be able to stop her. There was no way you could have known how she would react when she found it. I don't even think she knew how she'd react. And besides, you didn't know how bad it was going to get. You can't blame yourself for everything, man. I know you probably feel like it's your responsibility to make sure everyone around you is okay, but sometimes it's just not going to be possible. You're only one guy. That's what Rosalina always saying. I suppose I do apologize more than I should. Yeah, Oscar, you're positively Canadian. You really do. I'm guessing Charlie didn't come back for an encore. Not as far as I know. I slept in Rosalina's room, and I made sure to put some heavy objects on top of the hatch just to give myself a little extra peace of mind. But nothing happened. That's good enough for me. I didn't see anything either, but even if something did happen, I wouldn't know. I was asleep as soon as my head hit the pillow. I'm too tired to worry about ghosts anymore, to be honest. Losing a limb will do that, especially if you decide to tromp around the next day like nothing happened. It would have been fine if it weren't for Charlie. Good thing he's gone then, and let's hope he stays gone. Wait, Oscar, did you tell Dr. Kelly about... Yeah, I told her everything. He did. I'm sorry that happened. Dr. Kelly's silence speaks volumes. It isn't the silence of embarrassment, but rather one of recognition. Ooh. Interesting. Why does everyone seem so chill? Shouldn't you all be traumatized? Who says I'm not traumatized? Just because I'm not in the gibbering heap doesn't mean I haven't been mentally scarred beyond my comprehension. I know I should be freaking out, but what can I say? Last night was fun. So I'm just going with the flow, seeing where this adventure takes me. Fun? Speak for yourself. I feel like the only reason I'm not in a total mental shutdown right now is that the crisis hasn't really stopped. The week started with a bunch of monsters appearing in the woods, and it's just been one thing after another ever since. So yeah, I'm putting off the inevitable breakdown until I know things are done escalating. I don't think it's sunk in for me yet. I'll deal with whatever trauma I'm picking up now in therapy when I'm 30. That's what grown-ups do, right? I mean, you're not wrong, Rosalina. How's Reese? He's fine. Had a rough night, but he'll recover. He's used to this sort of thing. He just needs a couple of days to get back on his feet. That means no more excitement, not even a movie. I'm sorry to hear that, Dr. Kelly. Okay. I am not flirting with Dr. Kelly. I will respect this boundary and not bother either of you anymore. That sounded suspiciously like sarcasm, but I'll choose to believe you mean it. I am not going to warn her about the clinic. You remain silent. So, You've got your meds, you've got your nest of pillows, a helpful friend by your side, and a cat to keep you company. Seems like you're all set. Make sure you do a whole lot of nothing today. I will. Bye, Dr. Kelly. Yes, thanks again for coming down to see us, Joan. Not a problem. I'd much rather she stay put than have to get in and out of cars. I'll call later today to see how things are going. Hope the rest of the week is less eventful for the both of you. Goodbye, Rosalina. Make sure you stay put and keep Pixel company, okay? Dr. Kelly's features harden once again as she steps towards the door. And then she pushes past you to leave Oscar's house. We'll let you kids have some space. Alexis, why don't you figure out a restful activity for you and Rosalina? Will do, Mr. Gutierrez. I brought some video games and puzzles from my house, and some movies, too. Whatever you want to do, Rosalina. Oscar ushers you down back to the library. What's up? Is everything okay? Yes, everything's fine, or at least much better than yesterday. I can't thank you all enough. I'd like to be as helpful as I can from here on out. Now that our little situation is dealt with, I'll finally have time to dig into the town archives. Our house was haunted because someone was murdered there. The mine collapse the other night was at the site of a mass grave. With enough research, maybe we'll be able to get a step ahead of the next crisis. Maybe we can actually preempt it. That is, assuming there's going to be a next crisis, but something tells me we aren't in the clear yet. We should compare notes. Not that I have any to start with, but if you know anything that might narrow down my research, it could save me a lot of time. I don't think we actually know that much more than you do, but I've got some hunches. I can't help but feel that there must have been some inciting event since everything started getting weird seemingly overnight. What that inciting event was, or where to start looking for it, I have no idea, but it's something to keep in mind. Avery stares at you. I mean, it's obvious, right? Things only started happening once Pibbs got here. Kanika shoots Avery a glare. No, we are not throwing Pibbs under the bus. What? There's nothing wrong with being a magical catalyst. Sure, there's probably nothing wrong with someone being a magical catalyst, but there's definitely something wrong with saying someone's a magical catalyst. If people get the wrong idea, we're only a couple of steps away from where the whole town decides to shaw him. Nobody's going to drag Pibbs into a witch hunt on my watch. I like to think we've outgrown the days of running people out of town on rails. I'd rather play it safe. Don't worry, it's not like I'm going to run around town telling everyone that Pibbs magicked a bunch of terrible disasters into existence. But if there's a catalyst for all of this, why wouldn't it be a lost Scarlet finally coming home to Scarlet Hollow? If I may, Pibbs getting into town isn't the only major event that's happened lately. Perlan died over a week ago, and those creatures in the woods were already reproducing by the time he arrived. Not to mention, I started seeing things in our house before Perlan passed, I think. I never thought to make a note of exactly when the spirit made itself known. If there's a root cause for all of this, hopefully there's a way to put the genie back into its bottle. I'm going to do my best to find out if there have been any similar events and whether there's anything special about Scarlet Hollow that might explain what's going on. We've been finding these weird stone seals. There was one in the mines and another in your basement. There might be more. Those are those carvings you mentioned last night, right? To think there was something like that under my house all this time. And to think someone must have put it there, but who? This gives me quite a few threads to follow. Thank you, Pibbs. At this point, I wouldn't be surprised if you were right yesterday, Pibbs. What if there really is another one of those carvings in the clinic? Does that mean the clinic is going to be overrun with ghosts soon? Should we warn Dr. Kelly? She may have believed Oscar about last night, but I don't know how receptive she'd be if we just told her there might be ghosts in her house. Even if she believed us, she's stubborn. We should investigate the clinic. You're not wrong, but at the same time, I don't want to be the one who sneaks into Dr. Kelly's clinic and gets caught. She's mean enough as is. I don't want to know what she'd be like if she caught us breaking into her place of business. Who knows, if we uncover another ghost or some new kind of terrifying supernatural entity lurking in her clinic, she might be more grateful than mad. No one should be breaking into any houses. We don't need to go looking for trouble when we've already found a lifetime's worth. I don't know if we have time to play it safe. Just give me a day or two, do some research before you do anything rash, okay? We have a carving right here. Maybe studying it can give us some new leads. Not a chance. I know the ghost is probably gone for good, but that thing is evil, and if that's even the slightest chance that going back down there triggers something, it's not worth disturbing. At least not until we know more. My daughter's safety comes first right now. We finally have our house back, and I'm not taking any risks until we know what we're dealing with. No argument here. I think Sybil knows more than she's letting on. She wants me to come talk to her today. I know we've been over this, but I still think you're barking up the wrong tree. Why would my mom hide anything from us? Still, she did seem really calm and confident last night. Weirdly so. I hate this. She did seem strange last night. She kept shutting down the conversation, like she was rushing us all along, trying not to let us linger on the supernatural long enough to reach any conclusions. Still, I'm inclined to agree with Kanika here. If she does know something, why would she be hiding it? Because she is sus and evil. I'd be interested to know what exactly she intends to tell you that couldn't be discussed in front of the rest of us. I wonder if this could be the work of some sort of cult. You mentioned something like this at the library the other day. If there was a cult in Scarlet Hollow, I feel like I'd know about it. I don't know, just throwing things out there. Let's not get all satanic panic just yet. I know it's not looking unlikely at this point, but having lived in this town all my life, I feel like I would know if there was some cult that ran this place. I've got to agree with Kanika on this. I feel like I'd have picked up on something. A cult doesn't necessarily have to run the town to have had an impact here. It doesn't even need to be active. From what I gather, those carvings you've been talking about are old, and whoever left them here is probably long gone. I'll see what I can find. You never know. Make sure Pixel stays inside, or he might just get grabbed by ditchlings. The ditchlings are those things from the woods, right? With those faces? Yeah, the anguished doughboys. I kinda like them. It's like a hidden object game out there today with all the weird little faces peering out of the bushes. Like them? Are we talking about the same creatures that have been laying eggs in the local wildlife? I don't want to get friendly with them or anything. I just think they're kinda interesting. To each their own. Will do. I can't imagine how devastated Rosalina would be if something were to happen to him, especially after everything she's been through. Whatever we're doing next, I feel like we're missing a vital team member. We need to find Stella, and fast. I agree. We need her brazen energy if we're going to do any serious sleuthing. See you around, Oscar. Let us know what you find. I will. Okay, so that's Oscar. Any other ideas? Okay, let's go to Stella's house. Oh, have you all not checked Stella's place already? I was too nervous to go anywhere by myself this morning in case I ran into any other horrors from beyond the veil, so no. And I'm gonna feel really silly if she's just asleep in bed. You make your way towards Stella's house. Kanika knocks anxiously on the door. It creaks open. Your protective instincts set in, and the muscles on your arms tighten, your shoulders straightening. If danger lurks ahead, you're ready for it. This doesn't look like a break-in. It looks like somebody left the door open. Stella, or someone else, was in a hurry when they left. I'm not from around here. Is it normal for people to leave their doors open like that? I've left my patio door open on occasion, usually when I'm home, but I've had squirrels take that as an invitation one too many times and bust in to take a few bites out of my plants, so even I keep my doors closed. It's bad enough that they go after everything in the community garden, but to come into my house and help themselves to my precious leafy babies, the squirrels of Scarlet Hollow are my only true enemies. And Stella would definitely know better than to leave her door wide open like this, especially considering the ditchling situation. Might as well invite ourselves in, right? Yeah, we should go in. Cool. I'll be brave and go first. Avery casually steps over the threshold into Stella's house. Whatever happened to Stella, it doesn't look like it happened here. Doesn't look like there was a struggle or anything, unless it happened in another room, or maybe someone or something caught her off guard. You didn't have to add that last part. I'm gonna forget that you said that and just be thankful that this doesn't look like a crime scene. Stella's kitchen is slightly messy. A couple of cabinets are hanging open, and a loaf of bread sits on the counter by a used butter knife. Looks normal to me. I don't know, it's a little messy. If this is a little messy, I don't want to know what you'd call my room. I wasn't judging. There's nothing wrong with a little mess. Dot dot dot. Or a lot of mess. We're getting off track. Stella's house has always felt a little sterile to me. This feels a little too lived in, if that makes sense. Though maybe that's just because I've only ever been over when she was already expecting me. Maybe this is just a rare peek behind the curtains at the real Stella. The real Stella should call her friends and let them know she's okay. You make your way down the hall to what you assume to be Stella's room. She is not here. Though it's a little untidy, it's the usual sort of untidiness that accumulates when someone doesn't often have guests in their bedroom. There aren't any signs of violence. Better not hear a single comment about this room being messy. Wasn't gonna say anything. You go to check Stella's computer. I'm not sure we should be snooping on her computer. Isn't that an invasion of privacy? We already broke into her house, right? For all we know, there could be some sort of clue on there, like a note detailing exactly where she is. We didn't break into her house. The door was left wide open. Well, maybe the computer was left open too. Exactly. If there isn't a password, maybe we're supposed to take a peek. Maybe we'll find the first note in an elaborate scavenger hunt that she set up overnight. Sure, snoop away, but I'm not going to take part in this. I'll just be over here, standing in the corner of the room, not looking over your shoulder. Let me know if you find anything. Stella's desktop is horrifically cluttered. There are simply too many files and folders to fit on her monitor, and they overlap each other in a chaotic, multi-layered display. Whoa, how do we find anything on here? You don't. Come on, let's go. You scan through folders and file names on Stella's desktop, looking for anything that seems like it might be interesting. One folder catches your eye. Boring tax stuff. You're no fool. You've seen this folder before. You have this folder on your own computer. Boring tax stuff never contains boring tax stuff. For that matter, it never contains anything related to taxes, and its contents are never boring. You open the folder. You're surprised to find it contains a carefully mapped out diagram of the Scarlet Hollow mines, including holes in fences and areas with low visibility. There's also a handful of old photos of Stella and Tabitha together as teenagers. Tabitha wears an uncharacteristic grin, an authentic, joyful smile, and Stella's eyes are somehow brighter, less tired. Both of them seem to be living in a happier time. Okay, I take it back. This is way too personal. I'll just join Kanika in the corner while you wrap things up. Okay, I think we've seen enough. Thank God. This sure looks like a room. Any thoughts? I think you about summed it up. This is definitely a room. Yeah, nothing much to comment on. This is what her room's been like for pretty much the entire time I've known her. The only thing that's changed is the computer getting a lot fancier. Could use a few more houseplants. I'll put together some trimmings after we've found her. Aw, she still does the corkboard with strings thing. She loves putting the strings on there. I don't know that actually mean anything, but they're more for decoration anyway. You turn to leave Stella's house. Okay, so maybe she came home last night. Maybe she didn't, but she's definitely missing. Thought I was overreacting this morning. I hoped she would just be sleeping in. I can't believe she's actually missing. We'll find her. Where to next? Oh, I guess we should go to the cops, right? Are you sure? Nothing against the officers of Scarlet Hollow, but you've met them, right? Do you think it's worth the trouble? As unhelpful as they are, we are dealing with a missing person. That's cop stuff. It's probably going to be more of a formality than anything, but there's no point in not covering all our bases. How many cops will we get? Oh God, all of them are here. All right. Interesting. So none of them are dealing with the strike. The police station is exactly what you would expect from a town the size of Scarlet Hollow. It smells strongly of coffee and faintly of aged furniture and paper, and the general tidiness speaks of a department that doesn't get much of anything done. But you're also not alone here. You enter to find Beau and Duke standing between you and the officers behind the desk. Now listen here, Hugby. Big Betty was set to win a blue ribbon, so don't you go telling me she's just a pumpkin. We worked real hard to get her that big, raised her up from a seed. It's just not fair, officer, sir. I understand that and all, but just don't see what y'all want us to do about it. I know y'all cared a lot about this pumpkin, but as it stands, this simply isn't a job the police can help you with. Now, if you were able to find some kind of evidence that Julius or somebody else stole this Big Betty of yours, then you could get a lawyer involved and take it to small claims court. Dang it, deputy, ain't finding evidence what you all are supposed to be good for? That Julius has been stealing what rightfully belongs to the Callaways for all his life, and you folk aren't done a lick of policing to put an end to it. I told you we was better off handling this ourselves, Daddy. Listen up, boys. We've got a missing person on our hands. Stella hasn't been seen since yesterday. Last anyone saw, she was in a state of distress. Oh, do you think you're leading an investigation, do you? Coming in here like you have some kind of authority? Well then, why don't you march on out and dig up some clues if you think you're such a big shot? What? You remain silent. There's no point arguing with these clowns. She'll turn up. That girl disappearing for a day or two ain't nothing out of the ordinary. Best to leave the officers to handle real crimes. Like our disappearing pumpkin. Duke's right. She'll turn up. She always does. What's all this about a pumpkin? Seems the Callaways here have lost a considerably large pumpkin. We ain't lost crud, Earl. You can't lose what's been stolen, and we already know who did it. We saw Julius eyeing her yesterday. Look, Beau, I feel you. I really do. But that's circumstantial at best. And even if it wasn't, you know yourself that there isn't a clear property line. What makes you think Julius stole it? You're poking a wasp's nest, Pibbs. There's 100 years of history here. He's been claiming Big Betty was his since day one, on account of he thinks it was planted on his side of the property. He's got himself confused about where the property line is, as always. The Callaways and the Tremaines have been at this a long time. They can never agree on whose land is whose. This ain't the first time we've heard something like this, and we get our fair share of calls from Julius, too. You know, Julius is a friend of mine. He's a lot of things, and he's definitely a bit of a curmudgeon, but I've never pegged him as a thief. Friend? A snake like him has friends? Friend is a strong word, but I like to think we have some kind of understanding. You want me to go over there and kick his ass for you? Watch it, Pibbs. If Julius Tremaine shows up tomorrow with a busted nose, we'll know it was you. I'm sure Pibbs just meant that metaphorically, Dennis. Huh, I like your gumption, but I don't want anyone to dirty themselves picking fights on my behalf. I just want my damn pumpkin back. Daddy always said folks like us shouldn't use our strength to hurt other people. Just 'cause we're bigger and stronger don't mean we can use it to boss anybody around, even if they deserve it. That's right, Bo, which is why we're going through the proper channels, or trying to at least. Look, it's good that you came by to let us know of the possible theft, but I'm telling you, there's not much to be done. And I say that's horse crud. You know, I haven't seen him since Tuesday. He's usually in the diner every day. Even if he didn't take Big Betty, it might be worth doing a welfare check. Alright, let me speak in plainer terms. Everyone knows that Julius Tremaine's land is booby-trapped to hell. It's not worth it. Is that so? So you've just been giving me and my boy the runaround this morning? All morning? I won't have to answer that question. Helpful. So he's got some traps on his property. It's never stopped me from visiting. Yeah? Do you have kids, Avery? Because I've got 2 teenage girls at home. Hugby's got grandkids, and Franklin's got the mayor, I guess. I'm not about to risk getting my head blown off over a pumpkin. That's right. There's some sleeping dogs you learn to just let lie. I've been Scarlet Hollow's sheriff for over 20 years now. You don't hold a position like that for so long without learning a few lessons on temperance and moderation. What good's a sheriff who won't do his job? This is lawlessness. If I may, sirs, ain't it a mite bit cowardly of you? I thought police officers were supposed to be brave. Not the ones that live very long, son. Look, I've been to Julius 100 times. I can tag along and make sure nobody gets hurt. That's a mighty kind offer, but let's give it another day. There's no need to escalate things when they might just resolve themselves. Tomorrow, Earl, or I'm running against you next election. Let's just get going. Well, no one can say we didn't try. Let's keep looking. Have a good one, officers. Same to you, kid. Well, that was a total waste of time. Wasn't a total waste of time. We got to find out what's been going on with Julius. He's been missing from the diner for a few days. It's weird. He usually comes in every single day. Maybe he's preoccupied with ditchlings. I just hope he's okay. Where to next? Let's go check out the diner. Let's check out the diner. Good idea. Folks tend to congregate there. Maybe we'll run into someone who's seen Stella. Here's hoping Winnie doesn't try to rope me into clocking in early. Very small number of miners. It feels like you walked into a private meeting. The back booth is full of miners, and they're having what seems to be an intense discussion, their expressions gravely serious. What's going on? There's a strike up at the mines. They've made the diner their base of operations. When you asked for the morning off, I didn't think you'd be showing up with friends. Sorry, Aunt Winnie. Stella's gone missing, and I've been helping these 2 track her down. You haven't seen her, have you? Don't you apologize now, and I can't say I have. Should I be worried about her? I hope not. We're not interrupting anything here, are we? Of course not. Any paying customer is welcome, long as you aren't about to step on anybody's toes or cause a fuss. The miners in back were too engaged in conversation to notice you enter, and instead of speaking in hushed voices, argue with each other loudly enough for you easily overhear. Sure, the shift schedules are tough. And sure, we don't get enough time off for me to see my family as often as I'd like, but this is the best job I can get right now. Listen, kid, you're only a year or so into this gig. Trust me, the longer it goes on, the more it sucks the life out of you. At first, you're just unhappy, but you think you can weather it till you find something better. Paycheck's a paycheck, I get it. But the next thing you know, you've lost years of your life to a company that doesn't give a solitary shit about you, that uses up every free second it can suck out of its workers, pays us just enough to survive, but not so much that we can ever save enough to get the hell out. Zax, we could get fired for this. I really need the paycheck. My sister needs the paycheck. I'm the only reason she can afford her tuition right now. I can't get fired. And this job still has its perks, like the company housing. I can't afford my own place and send money back home. I don't know where I would live if I didn't have this job. Right, the company housing. How generous of the big boss to put you up in a company-owned shack that ain't had proper maintenance done in decades. You know she uses the housing as an excuse to pay us less. And the company housing, that means almost nobody in this whole damn town owns the place they live. It's why the Scarlets have kept getting away with whatever they want. Zax, we don't have the numbers, man. You know this is risky. Riskier than most of us can afford. We would have the numbers if y'all would stand with me and not let management scare tactics get to you. It's not just scare tactics. People like her now. The woman ran into a collapsing coal mine and saved 3 children from being buried alive. I feel you, I really do, but how are we supposed to organize a strike against the town hero? Are you trying to tell me that a mine collapsing less than 2 days ago is why you don't want to strike? It's bad times, Axe. It's always a bad time, Baker. It doesn't matter whose name is on the deed for the place. Without us, there is no mine. We've got him against the ropes. We can't back down now, and they'll come out swinging. Hey, have any of you seen Stella? She's missing. The miners turn towards the doorway, all eyes glaring at you in unison. The YouTuber? We ain't seen her. Harrison's voice drops to a barely audible mumble. I hope she's okay. So about the strike. Somebody snitched to Tabitha. She caught us completely unprepared. For all we know, you overheard something and ratted us out. You didn't, right? I'm no snitch, you can trust me. Zax gives you a long, hard look. It could be possible somebody else told her, Zax. A lot of people knew about it. It could have been anybody. You might be right. Maybe I will hold my judgment for now. I'll also vouch for him. You can't say that doesn't mean anything. Y'all know I'm no fan of the Scarlets. You know I wouldn't stick my neck out for one if I didn't have a good reason. ... Noted. Though actions speak louder than words. I'm watching you, Pibbs. I guess we should get going. You turn and leave the diner. Avery and Kanika trailing close behind you. Still no sign of Stella. Let's go look at the church. We should check out the church. The church? Why? I see what you're thinking. Stella was confronted with evidence of the afterlife, so she might try getting into all the religious stuff. It's worth checking out. I think we'd be barking up the wrong tree, but I guess you're right. There's no point in not being thorough. I wouldn't mind stocking up on some holy water while we're there, too. Seems like a good idea to cover all our bases at this point. I don't think Baptists do the holy water thing, but I'm sure Pastor Daniel would pretend to bless some water if it meant keeping us around a little longer. It's good enough for me. Let's not linger, though. I don't want him thinking we're possible converts. Kanika leads the way, taking up the gradual slope towards the church. You know, I've lived here for a few years now, and I've never actually been to the church. It's probably for a good reason. Where is that weirdo? My, 4 visitors at once? On a Thursday? This is unprecedented. But there's only 3 of us. Oh no, were we followed by a ditchling? Were we followed by Wayne? Sup, old people? Oh, it's just Zane. What are you doing here? All the glimpses of death I've had in the past 2 days have forced me into the midst of an existential crisis, my dudes. Wanted to see if faith held any answers for me. Alas, I have not yet found the solace I seek. Give it time, Zane. Sometimes takes a while for the Lord to work his way into your heart. But when he does, you won't regret letting him in. Be sure to look over those pamphlets I gave you, and of course, I'm always here if you need to talk. Sure thing, Pastor D. Peace, y'all. Anyway, we're looking for Stella. She wandered off last night, and no one has seen her since. We're starting to get pretty worried. We hope maybe you or Janie had seen her. I can't speak for Janie, but I'm afraid I've seen neither hide nor hair of Stella. If you'd like to talk to my wife, she's over there by the alpacas. Though, Pibbs, I was hoping we might be able to talk in private. Sure, what's up? I guess we'll leave you to it while we check in with Janie. See you in a minute. Your friends head off towards Janie and the alpacas, leaving you alone with the nervous pastor. I'm so glad you decided to come up to visit me. So many young people these days seem to think they can solve all their problems on their own. Meanwhile, God is right there and to help them, if only they'd let him into their hearts. The pastor's eyes dart back towards the alpacas. Okay, good, they're gone. You're new in town. What kind of impression did I make on you? Am I creepy? You care too much about what people think of you. If you want people to like you, you have to not care about whether they like you. That's a harsh truth you're slinging at me. It wasn't always like this, you know. Believe it or not, before I moved to Scarlet Hollow, I used to be pretty popular. I was one of the cool kids over at Harvard Divinity School. Which is just a hilarious statement. He is interrupted by the sounds of a snapping twig and a high-pitched giggle, partly muffled by the underbrush at the edge of the property. Tulip, come out of there. You know you're not supposed to play in the woods. Tulip glances back into the woods quietly as she hesitates. Tulip, are you going to be good? Or are you going to skip story time? Are we going to skip story time tonight? I'll be good. You don't have to skip story time. I won't go into the woods. I promise. I know you won't, Tulip, because you know it's too dangerous for little girls in there. Why don't you go help Mama with the alpacas? They're just about time they got fed. You can give them hay. Tulip smiles broadly, seemingly excited by the prospect, and hurries off. Sorry I had to have a firm parenting moment just then. She's been trying to run off into those woods a lot lately, and it's really dangerous, even for adults. There's this massive trash dump not too far past the trees, but it must be at least 50 years old, so it's all grown over and looks like it's part of the landscape. But if you accidentally walk on it, you might find yourself falling into a hip-deep mound of rusty cans and broken glass. Tulip made up some imaginary friends and keeps telling us that they want her to go out there, like the word of some fictional creature she made up is going to convince us it's a good idea for her to play in somebody's old garbage. But she's 7, of course she would get some funny little idea like that. I'd love to get the community to rally around a big cleanup. It's about time somebody got rid of all that junk. Oh, Tetanus Lake? Stella told me about that. What a name. Tetanus Lake? That's an accurate name. I wonder if Tulip would stay away if I started calling it that, or if it would only make it sound more alluring. How big a trash dump are we talking? Would a weekend of hard work clear it out? Maybe if you had construction equipment and a team of professionals. It's a big area, and I have no idea how deep it goes. In the meantime, I'm just making sure Tulip knows not to go near it. What's that you were saying about imaginary friends? Oh, she's just been talking about the friends of hers lately, little stories about creatures that live in the church. I'm sure she saw some animal in there and decided it was her friend. It's nothing to be overly concerned about, except the trash heap situation. This man is lying to you. In fact, he's been lying since the moment he mentioned those imaginary friends. Whatever his daughter has been talking to is real, and he knows it. Sounds to me like you know exactly what she's been talking to. Daniel's eyes go wide just for a second. Don't... He does. He obviously does. He hunches his shoulders, his voice suddenly quiet. There are rats in the church. There, I said it. It's embarrassing. But she saw one at some point, and she can hear them scurrying around in the walls. She's decided they're her little friends. Please, keep this between us. Don't tell Janie. I don't want her knowing the church is in such rough shape. Out of the corner of your eye, you can see Kanika and Avery walking back to the two of you. They must have finished talking to Janie. Janie says she hasn't seen Stella either, so we'd better get going. Thanks for suggesting we head up here, Pibbs. We got to feed the alpacas. They were so cute and soft, it was awesome. And Janie says she'll come by the diner with cookies for the miners, and a few extra for me, of course. She's so nice, she even offered to bring me some since I'm feeling under the weather. Hope your talk with the pastor went well. Yes, we had a great conversation. I appreciate you all stopping by, even if it wasn't under the best circumstances. I'll let you be on your way. And I hope Stella turns up soon. I'll put in some good prayers with the big man for her. All right, thanks. See ya. Kanika and Avery start back down the path to town, and you follow. So, what was that about? He seemed pretty insistent on talking to you alone. Yeah, he didn't say anything weird, did he? He wanted to know why everyone in town thinks he's creepy. He is creepy. It's kind of sad, isn't it? I don't think he has a lot of friends. People do weird things all the time to try and fit in. Point taken, but that doesn't mean he isn't creepy. Let's not get too distracted until we find Stella, though. Where to next? We should go to the mines. I guess there's a decent chance Stella went to find your cousin. I can't say I get it, but it's definitely something she would do. You don't see it? Oh, come on. The two of them have such a dynamic, you know? Classic dog and cat situation. Come on, I'll drive us. Oh, now we can fit 3 people. You follow Kanika to her van. It isn't long before you find yourselves outside the Scarlet mines. There's a small gathering of workers outside the entrance to the mines, picket signs in hand. I hope it's not weird to talk to them while they're in the middle of all this. Don't worry, I know these guys. Most of them are in the diner at least a couple of days a week. They'll be chill. Will they be chill talking to Tabitha's cousin, though? Well, if it isn't the boss's cousin. He might have had us fooled the other day, but word gets around fast. Have any of you seen Stella? She's missing. The YouTuber? She's the one on all the banned from property posters, right? We haven't seen her, and we've been out here all day, so we'd know if she'd come by. Oh no, this isn't looking good. It's okay, just because she hasn't been seen today doesn't mean something bad happened to her. We'll make sure to keep an eye out. I need to talk to Tabitha. So you're saying you want to cross a picket line? You don't have to literally cross the picket line to get inside. That map you found on Stella's computer was practically a handbook for breaking into this place. Come on, what harm can I possibly cause by going in there? I have my cousin's phone number. I'm staying at her house, and last I checked, she knows you're all striking. All right, fine. What's the harm? Go ahead. I don't care if they're okay with you going in. I'm still not crossing a picket line. Besides, I don't think Tabitha would be too happy to see me. I'll just wait by the van while you go talk to her. Same. Everyone who works here is a regular at the diner. I don't want to make things weird. See you on the other side. Alright, let's go talk to Tabitha. The industrial noise of the Scarlet Mine are only a little quieter than they were 2 days ago. The trailer that serves as Tabitha's office looms above you on the hill. You walk up to Tabitha's trailer and knock on the door. You wait for a moment. No response. You knock again. Oh, for the love of... The door swings open. Oh, it's you. Should I go? Yeah, and try not to get yourself noticed. Try not to get yourself noticed. It sounds like Tabitha's found a rat. Hey, do you have a minute? It's important. ... I can make some time. Should I? I already said you can leave, Rodriguez. We'll talk more later. The door clicks closed as Rodriguez leaves Tabitha's office. Tabitha heaves a heavy sigh. Please, just forget you saw anything, okay? I can handle this on my own. Yeah. People think you're a hero right now for rescuing Becca and Alexis from the mine collapse. I think the strike will just peter out on its own. They think I'm a hero right now? That's what I heard at the diner. Maybe you're right. Maybe that's part of why it was so easy to get so many people to keep working. If that's the case, I can wait to see where this goes before doing anything that might just make things worse. Thanks, Bibbs. I'm sure you didn't come all the way down here to talk about the strike. Why are you here? Don't get me wrong, it's nice to see a friendly face, but you shouldn't be up here. This is my battle to fight. Stella is still missing. We've been looking all over town for her and don't have any leads. Tabitha groans. You don't think Wayne... That's what I'm worried about. ... I'll see if I can figure something out. Do you have time to hang out later? I miss you. You do? You're not joking? There's so much on my plate right now. But I'll see you tonight. ... Maybe we can have some ice cream or something. If you want to spend time together, I mean. Tabitha's phone buzzes. I'd better get back to work. Stay safe out there, Pibbs. Call me if you run into more trouble, but please don't go looking for any today, okay? I don't need you going missing, too. She really does like us. She likes us. She really likes us. You leave the office, closing the door behind you. You find Kanika and Avery waiting for you outside. You don't look like you found any new leads. I feel like we've done our due diligence here. Come on, I'll drive us back to town and we can figure out our next move from there. Where to next? Before you can say anything, you're interrupted by Kanika's phone buzzing. Oh my God, my mom's calling me. When is she going to learn to text? Give me a second. Hey, what's up? No, still no sign of her. We were going to keep looking a while longer. I'm really feeling okay. I'm not... You're right. Now that you mention it, I do feel kind of tired. I shouldn't push myself. I'll come home. She has a point. I'm not feeling well right now. I've got to get back to the general store. Maybe some tea could help. I didn't realize you were that sick. It's really crept up on me. I was doing fine until... Kanika starts to sway, losing balance in her legs. I must have been running on adrenaline. She stumbles, bumping into you before regaining her balance. Sorry, I think I just need some help getting home. I'll have some tea and maybe lie down, and then we can get back to looking for Stella. Yeah, it shouldn't take us too long to get back. Come on, Pips, let's get moving before she passes out. Thanks, and sorry, this is embarrassing. Don't mention it. The bells of the general store chime welcomingly as you and Avery bring Kanika inside. Oh dear, Kanika, you poor thing. This is why you were supposed to stay in bed today. If you keep running around like this, it's going to take you so much longer to recover. Thank you both for getting her home. I hope you're feeling better after last night's fiasco. Hi, Mom. Go on, get up to bed. I'll be up in a minute with more tea. And Pibbs, once she's all situated, I believe I owe you a chat. Hopefully we can start to get to the bottom of whatever's happening to the town. Wait, if you're talking mystery-related stuff, I should be there. Sweetie, you've done enough today, and you never like when I do tea readings anyway. I'm sure Pibbs can catch you up once you're feeling better. ... Okay, you're right. Not feeling well. I should really lie down. Kanika heads towards the stairs and disappears without saying another word. Whatever that was, it didn't feel like the same person who stormed out of the general store just yesterday morning. That person wouldn't just do as she was told so easily. You couldn't help but notice an uncharacteristic firmness in Sybil's voice. Maybe their relationship isn't so pleasant behind closed doors. And I'm so sorry to be a bad host, Avery, but I was hoping Pips and I could do our reading in private. I'm sure Winnie needs help at the diner. Aw, you're right. I've totally left her on her own today. Fine by me. I wouldn't want to mess with your tea vibes. I'm sure those leaves are very peculiar. Oh, but before I go, I did want to ask. Are you a witch? Avery does not beat around the bush. As flattered as I am that you think I'm that magical, I'm just an old lady who likes tea and has a few unusual hobbies. Look, I'm just saying, doing stuff like reading tea leaves is pretty witchy as far as I'm concerned, but I won't push it. Though just so you know, if you are a witch, you can totally tell us. We'd be cool about it. I'll leave you all to your non-supernatural private tea leaf reading. We'll catch up tomorrow, Pibbs. They make their way out of the general store, disappearing down the street in the direction of the diner. Shall we? Sybil motions towards the tea room. Ooh. You're not really as nice as you seem, are you? What makes you say that? Is this because I had to be firm with my daughter? Kanika has a way of ignoring her body when it's telling her to slow down. Sometimes it takes a firm reminder from her mother to get her to take the time she needs to recover. It's all part of the job when you're a parent, no matter how old your children are. Please have a seat. I'll bring you a fresh cup. You take a seat at the small table at the edge of the room. It's dark here, only a sliver of sunlight able to filter through the heavy curtains, supplemented by the bright grow lights over the plant in the corner. Sybil joins you at the table and places a cup in front of you. It smells light and citrusy, with an undercurrent of decaying earth. I'll be able to do a reading once you're done. Until then, how about we just chat? Oh, interesting. Throw the tea to the ground. You lift the tea to your mouth and pretend to take a sip, carefully waiting for a moment when she's looking away to toss its contents into a nearby plant. So, how'd you wind up in Scarlet Hollow? Oh, my family's been in these hills for a long time. That's how I know so much of the local flora. Everything I've learned was handed down from generations of hillfolk. There hasn't always been a reliable doctor up here, especially not one most folks could afford. They have to figure out their own medicine. And here's your opening. New achievement, spill the tea. You take advantage of Sybil's broken attention to quickly dump your tea into one of the pots behind you. The other day you promised to tell me, what was it? Unsavory tales of my mom's youth? I most certainly did, though I might have been exaggerating a bit for dramatic effect. I'm prone to do that. In a town this size, you get to know everybody no matter what the age difference might be. Vivian was a little younger than me, which meant I always had a certain older sister instinct about her. Her family wasn't good to her. Poor Anne was a lot like your great-grandmother, Edwardine, which is to say she was not a very kind woman. Similar to Tabitha, but with more social grace and considerably more hatred for her fellow man. Sybil really does not like Tabitha, and I don't know why. But your mother wasn't a shrinking violet either. She was just as stubborn as any other Scarlet, so her family choosing her as their punching bag made her into quite the rebel. Why were Perlan and my mom raised by Edwardine? What happened to their mother? Their entry into this world was violent, I'm afraid. Their mother was young, too young to be pregnant, especially with twins. She didn't survive the labor. What do you know about my grandma? I'm afraid there isn't much I can tell you. I think there were two in that generation. The oldest died when the girls were still children. Edwardine never spoke about them, nor did your mother. I feel like I know a lot about the women in my family, but what about the men? Did they even exist? I suppose they just haven't been very noteworthy since Edwardine took over the mines. Her husband died a long time ago, and to be quite honest, I can't even recall his name. Might have been Stuart, or something just as forgettable. From what Vivian said, her father was some teenage fling that ended once your grandmother found out she was pregnant. I'm fairly certain it was similar for Vivian, though she was much older, and I believe she was the one who ended it, what with skipping town and all. What happened when my mom found out she was pregnant? She came to me for advice. She was distraught. It was like she'd been handed a death sentence. Maybe it was fear from what had happened to her own mother. Maybe it was something else. But she seemed convinced she was in danger. Tabitha had already been born by then, of course, but she was born in wedlock, so I assumed your mother's worries had something to do with religion. Though the Scarlets weren't particularly religious as far as I knew. But the way Vivian was that night she came to me, it stuck in my mind. It's always had me wondering what it was about your family that made her panic so much at the thought of having a baby. What's with all the mystery and ritual? If you have something to tell me, just come out and say it. I'll need your tea leaves first. I have pieces of the puzzle, but the tea leaves should help to give me the full picture. All done. Oh, good. Glad you found the tea palatable enough to drink. It should do some good. It's one of my more medicinal blends. Now, on to business. Sybil takes the cup from you, staring thoughtfully down at the sludge. Oh dear, this doesn't bode well. You've got just about every warning that can fit in the bottom of a cup. Cross, kettle, hourglass. All of these mean death, misery, difficulty, and the hourglass ties it all together with definite urgency. It's fair to assume that this all has to do with whatever brought the ditchlings. Something is coming, and whether any of us can stop it, I'm not sure, but we may at the very least be able to figure out what it is. So we tossed the tea under a plant. So I think this is actually the plant's fortune being read. And there's a central figure here, a cat, an enemy lurking in plain sight. I have to. This is bullshit. I didn't even drink the tea. You may have sneakily tossed my lovingly brewed tea into one of my house plants, but you still emptied the cup. That's more than enough to do a reading. Oh, perfect. We'll leave it. How did she know that? She was looking the other way when you dumped your tea. As if in response to your thoughts, Sybil puts the cup down and wryly smiles. Humor an old woman. How do I know you're not the cat? I suppose you don't. Oh my God. So this is the first time. Because normally when you say that, it doesn't even let you ask. Suppose you don't, though I'd think the cat wouldn't exactly warn you about itself. Still, you can't rule anyone out, even the old woman with a tea obsession. You don't have to figure out an answer right away. It often takes time for the mind to connect the dots. Just be on guard and keep vigilant that someone close to you isn't to be trusted. We know from the ditchlings that something terrible is coming your way, and it's likely that it's connected to some hidden enemy. Perhaps we can try to counteract whatever might be planned for you. Judging by what you told me last night, those stones, carvings, seals, whatever you want to call them, I think it's likely they'd have something to do with this. Until the cat reveals itself, it seems like your best course of action is to seek these carvings out. Piece together what you can from your visions and arm yourself with information. Have you sensed any others around town? Do you think you might be able to find another? Your thoughts drift to that door yesterday, the one that seemed to draw you in, urging you deeper into the clinic. Even just remembering it is enough to tug at you, compelling you to return and open it to see what's on the other side. You can find Stella later. Maybe you can even find her there. What's important now is finally seeing what's hidden in the clinic. You didn't get all that from the tea leaves. Of course not. Tea leaves are merely a guide. Sometimes they can help confirm suspicions or fill in where my intuition falls short. My family has lived in these hills a long time, as has yours. I know the Scarlets have secrets. I know Vivian was scared for you. But your place in all this is something we have to figure out together. And that's where little tricks like tea come in handy. But we shouldn't digress. Do you know where you might find the next stone? I think I felt another in the clinic. That's good. If you can find your way inside and uncover another stone, that could give you a leg up on your adversary. You'll just have to be careful to avoid the doctor. Something tells me she won't take too kindly to you sniffing around her clinic. If I recall correctly, there's a hill that'll take you nearly all the way to the second story, and she never locks any of the doors up there. Just in case that's helpful information. I think that's all the help I can offer. I hope this conversation has been illuminating, even if it just brought up more questions than giving any clear answers. You helped last night. Why don't you come with me? I may have been able to see through that spirit's illusions, but I'm not some kind of an all-powerful entity. I'm an old woman. I have trouble with my knees, and my eyesight isn't what it used to be. In most situations, I'd be more of a liability than a helpful companion. Imagine if I'd been in those mines with you, some use I'd be, struggling to climb over rocks and ladders, throwing my back out from all the crouching. Thanks. I'll let you know if I find anything. Glad to hear it. I hope all goes well, and I wish you luck. Hopefully you won't need it. Thank you again for humoring an old lady and stopping by for a chat. With a small grunt of effort, Sybil gets up from the table and you're escorted back to the door. And remember, be careful who you put your trust in. According to your tea, the cat is getting ready to pounce, and merely being ready for it might not be enough. Dun dun dun. Sybil closes the door to the tea room, the bells of its door strangely flat in the stale air of the nearly empty general store. Let's go check in on Kanika. You're not going anywhere before checking in on Kanika. You made your way upstairs. You knock on Kanika's door. Mom, I really don't need any more tea. I think I'm just going to lie down for a while. I'm not your mom. Oh, Pibbs, what's up? Can I come in? Yeah, let me just straighten up. Ooh, I guess Kanika also likes us. You hear frantic crumpling and crinkling and shuffling as she tidies her room. Okay, come on in. Kanika's room is the sort of place that's stuck between the past and present. Faded stickers from her childhood line her bookshelf, and boxes of packed belongings sit in the corners of the room. I don't usually have people over. Don't judge me too harshly for the state of the place. Oh, she likes us enough to start a romance? Despite us... I guess we lied about, like, the strike and talking to Tabitha, but, like, we're besties with Tabitha. Huh. Interesting. I'm not sure if I want a Kanika romance here. You don't trust your mom. You shouldn't stay here. Not trusting her is probably taking things a little too far. She means well, but meaning well doesn't mean she's right. But where would we go? I can still feel the door in the clinic pulling at me. I think that's where we need to go next. I was hoping to see Reese sometime today. I want to ask if he knows anything about Stella, and make sure he's okay after what happened at dinner. Let's do it. The two of you make your way back into the hallway. But before you make it to the stairs, a light turns on, startling both of you. I thought you were going to get some rest, Kanika. You should really get back to bed, or this cold of yours will only get worse. But I still have a lot of energy. I don't feel like sitting around. I don't think I need to. Of course you do. I know you best, and you just haven't been yourself these past few days. All this running around has been a detriment to your health. Miles and I want to see you healthy and hold this family together. Oh. All right. Save. Let's save. Just in case. Lady, you're being really creepy. Kanika sighs. No, my mom is right. I've been neglecting the general store, and I let Miles run off the other day. That was so irresponsible of me. It's all right, Kanika. He could have gotten hurt, but he didn't, and it seems like you learned a valuable lesson from the experience. Now let's get you to bed. You just need another day to recover, then you can get back to all this town mystery business. Pibbs, you'll be fine without her until tomorrow. Bye, Pibbs. Before you can utter another word, Kanika returns to her room. Sybil's eyes carefully watch you as you leave and make your way back to Main Street alone. Yeah, okay, that was creepy. You make your way up the familiar hill past the row of ragged houses that make up Scarlet Hollow's residential area. So we've got ditchling, a raccoon, I think a ditchling, ditchlings, look at all of these ditchlings, and more ditchlings, and more ditchlings, and Wayne. It isn't long before you find yourself outside of Dr. Kelly's clinic, its secrets enticing you to find a way in. Even at the bottom of the hill, you can already feel the presence. It's like a magnet has been fixed to your ribcage, gently tugging you forward, guiding you towards whatever emits this compulsive frequency. Oh, let me super quick. Super quick check on something. Because there's things pinging me. Okay. You can see the hill Sybil was talking about, wrapped around the back of the old hospital like a stone blanket. It should take you directly up to the second floor, and the unlocked door of the terrace. I'm just going through the clinic door. It's a doctor's office, not Fort Knox. Why would the clinic door even be locked? You carefully make your way up the old wooden stairs of the clinic's wraparound porch, avoiding any suspiciously creaking-looking steps. You push the door open slowly, just enough for you to slip in, but not enough to risk any sound from the door's ancient hinges. You can see the doc at a desk in some room down the hall. She hasn't noticed you. You shut the door silently, watching her closely. You're in the clinic, free to explore as you please. Or rather, you're free to explore as you please. You can feel that odd sensation again, the nagging pull of whatever it was that wanted you to find it. You've been caught by its gravity, an overwhelming curiosity guiding you around a corner and towards a dark doorway under the stairs. It's been left ajar, as if inviting you to enter. The lights click on. You're in the morgue. Surprise! Hibbs, what are you doing in the morgue? I should not be. Okay, I have to ask. Are you human? Yes? Sorry, this probably doesn't look the most normal, but sometimes I just come down here to practice, I guess? Rehearse? Not gonna lie, this is kind of weird, dude. You're the one who just wandered into a morgue. His words seem distant to you. The tugging is strong down here. You can almost feel yourself slipping into a trance, and your eyes wander to the back wall of the morgue. You need to see what's back there. You touch the wall. It feels disappointingly solid under your palm. Oh yeah, so when we have Mystic, we can control ourselves and, go look at Pearl Ann's body, but not so much otherwise. Hey, are you okay? You feel Reese's hand gently shake your shoulder, and for a moment, the thing on the other side of the blank white wall loosens its pull on you. You kind of look possessed for a second there. You good? Make him understand. Hey, I'm gonna be on for a little bit. I've been on for close to 2 hours, but I want to finish this chapter, and this chapter's got a bit still. You did not miss my stream completely. This is the run that I was doing on Sunday, and we did chapter 1 and 2, and then chapter 3 we did Tuesday maybe, and so this is chapter 4, which is the furthest this game has. So this is my powerful build and street smarts traits run. So we'll see. I've gotten kind of a lot of achievements on this run that I haven't gotten before, and a lot of new scenes that I hadn't found in any of my other runs. So I'm very excited about that. All right, make him understand. All right, should we? Yeah, there's a stone carving on the other side of that wall, and I need to see it. Reese glances back at the wall. You're really serious, aren't you? This is probably a bad idea, but if you really need to get in there, I'm pretty sure there's an emergency axe somewhere upstairs. I just need to get the dock out of our hair. Should take 2 seconds. Okay, let's say nothing and wait. You say nothing, your heart pounding in your chest as you remain fixated on the wall. Be right back. He strides past you, his long legs moving swiftly. He seems excited, his usual dour demeanor replaced with an uncharacteristic pep when faced with the prospect of sneaking around and tearing down walls. You hear a soft voice filtering in through the open doorway at the top of the stairs, a hoarse and sickly edge added for effect as he speaks to his mother. "Hey, Mom." He coughs gently. "Reese, I didn't know you were awake. I still feel like shit, but I think I can finally try to keep some juice down. Looks like we're all out, though." "Really? I thought I just picked some up." "I've got an errand to run on Main Street anyway. I'll go pick up some orange juice. And some ginger ale, too." "That would be awesome. Sorry to ask. I know you're probably busy." It's no problem. It doesn't take long. Don't do anything too strenuous while I'm gone. Just lie in bed until I get back." "Thanks, Mom. I'll take it easy." You hear her footsteps move down the hall, then the front door opening and closing. It worked. The theatric grasp has left his voice, excitement rising in its place. "Come on up. We don't have long until she's back." As you step out of the morgue, you relax. The extra space between you and the carving has weakened its hold on you, and with it, your desperation to claw your way through the wall and unveil it. It's one of those emergency fire axes, so it should be pretty obvious wherever it is, though I'm not sure where she would be keeping it. I'll show you around. Let's try the doc's office first. You make your way to the doorway of her now vacant office. I don't see an axe in here. He's right. A cursory glance reveals nothing but stacks of paper and cabinets of medical supplies. But something on the desk catches your eye. Some sort of records with your family's name on them. Pick it up to read later. You scoop up the folder, tucking documents in for later perusal. Reese watches you with curiosity. Stealing medical documents? If my family's going to keep secrets from me, I'd better learn what I can. Totally. Steal anything you need to. You've got a mystery to solve. I'm not going to stand in your way. Let's check the medical supply room next. I can imagine a room full of chemicals being a place someone might want to keep an axe. Better be careful stealing stuff in there, though. That might really get you in trouble. You turn around and leave the office. It's time to move on. Medical supply room is probably a good bet. A fire axe seems like something that might be useful in a room full of chemicals. It's just down the hall. We just said that. There it is. Looks like it needs a key, though. We'd better not break the glass. I'd rather explain why I had to steal the axe after we've had a chance to use it. There must be a key in here somewhere. He stops, as if listening to something you can't hear. Shit, she's back already. As if on cue, you hear the front door to the clinic open and close, the creak of its antique hinges echoing down the hallway. Footsteps start down the hall. She's headed this way. Quick, we gotta hide. I'm not supposed to be in here. I mean, I'm assuming nobody except the doctor is supposed to be in there. He opens the closet door and hurriedly motions you inside. You slip past him, scrunching into the small space as best you can. He attempts to slide in after you. You make space, and he slips in next to you, closing the door just enough that you can both still monitor the entrance to the supply room. Dr. Kelly storms in, plastic bag in tow. She takes something out of the bag and places it on the counter. And then she hurries back out, bag rustling as she makes her way back down the hallway. We'd better wait a second, just in case. Okay, I don't want to flirt with Reese. The two of you stand in tense silence, both crammed into the suffocating closet, taking shallow breaths as if she could hear you breathing from the other side of the building. But the footsteps soon return. Dr. Kelly makes her way back towards your hiding place, creaking floorboards broadcasting her location all the way to the hallway just outside your hiding spot. His head swivels suddenly. That was the door to the house. We're in the clear. Let's go. The two of you spill out of the closet. Reese quickly and quietly starts pulling out drawers, scanning them for keys. You watch while he rifles through drawers, content to let him figure it out. Soon, there's a jingling of keys, and he turns to you, victorious. There we go. They're even color-coded. She made this too easy. Reese pauses to look at the plant on the table. It was weird of her to drop that off, right? Why would she put some alien-looking fruit in the supply room? She's not a pharmacist. She's not supposed to make her own medicine. This room is for storing stuff she orders from an actual pharmacist, and I doubt it's decorative. Yeah, let's not eat it. Maybe there's some information on it somewhere in here. Yeah, maybe. But before you get the chance to look, Reese jerks his head towards the door. Shit, that was the door from the house. We gotta run. Grab the axe and go. You grab the axe and follow Reese's instructions, once again starting down the basement stairs, letting the pull of the stone carvings guide you back to the morgue. Dr. Kelly's voice filters down from above. I was right, we did already have juice. It was just in the back of the fridge. But there's no harm in having extra. What are you doing in the clinic? I thought I told you to go rest. Oh, I'm just gonna chill in the morgue. I got my speakers, so if you hear some weird sounds, that's just my music. I'll be sure to put in earplugs to drown out all the industrial clanging you listen to. You know I'm not the biggest fan of you spending time down there. It can't be good for your mental health to hang out in a refrigerator for corpses. Do you at least have a blanket this time? Yeah, I'll be fine. It's just a change of scenery. My room feels too claustrophobic right now. Okay, I'll let you know when it's time for dinner. You hear the door at the top of the stairs close, and the sound of Reese descending the stairs to join you in the fluorescent-lit room below. Hey. Wall, wall, wall. Wall, wall, wall. Have at it. You approach the far end of the morgue, axe practically singing through the air as you strike the wall. It's like cutting through butter. You stagger back from the massive hole in the wall and admire your effort. Holy shit. The splintered edge frames a dark passage seemingly cut deep into the side of the cliff, cold seeping from a forgotten place into the already frigid morgue. Reese coughs as he takes a better look at what lies beyond the wound in the wall. There's a whole hallway back there. Thick, stale air leaks from the hole, filling the morgue with an earthy mildew smell, like the room is slowly filling with dirt. And with the stink of the grave-like room beyond comes an even stronger compulsion. You step forward, and you climb into the hole. This is wild. I had no idea any of this was here. An entire hospital wing rotting away for decades behind some flimsy drywall. His voice sounds distant. Your sole focus is finding it. Your feet move without prompting, and you stumble down the hallway towards the far wall, barely registering the antique clutter as you stagger past it. So you've got like a bed here, and like a tray of some sort, an ancient wheelchair, ancient radiator. This is like pretty neat and weird shit. Lots of piping. Whoa, are you okay? You don't respond, and you don't bother to retrieve the axe. The wall is rotten, water damage having eaten away at the wood over the course of unknowable years, the planks nearly reduced to sawdust. You tear into it. Oh, that was a caduceus there. They said there's nothing they can do. I'll never use my legs again. Enoch, what am I going to do? Nonsense, Teddy. These doctors don't know what they're talking about. I've been doing my own research. He Googled. And I've found us an alternative. Someone who can fix everything in one fell swoop. We're taking you home today, and by this time next week, everything will be resolved. Everything goes black. Your vision swims back into focus, and it takes a solid second or two to reorient yourself. You're in an unfamiliar bed. Reese leans against the wall, eyeing you with concern and curiosity. Hey, I was worried you'd slipped into a coma or something. You tore down the wall like a wild animal, found some weird carving, and collapsed. I think you might have had some kind of seizure. Are you okay? Wait, nothing spooky happened? The mountain didn't collapse on us? No ghosts? No, nothing. You just fell down, twitched a little, and when you seemed stable, I carried you back here. It was a few hours ago. You carried me? Through a hole in the wall and up and down a bunch of stairs? What? It wasn't super far or anything. I just picked you up and carried you. I might be sick a lot, but that doesn't mean I'm made of paper. I can still do things normal people can do. Normal people can't pick me up like I'm a child. You must be really strong. Really? Thanks. I guess I don't have much of a frame of reference what normal people can do. Does Dr. Kelly know I'm here? No, I snuck you back into the house while she was busy in the medical storage room. Figured you wouldn't want to come to in the morgue. I had a vision. Like a hallucination? I have those sometimes too. Used to have them a lot as a teen. Always just weird little things like my hands would look wrong or my neck would seem too large or the room would feel smaller. I still have those documents I swiped, right? Yeah, you should still have them on you. Sure enough, you pull out a file containing medical documents about your family. Well, let's look at all of these. This is Pearl Ann. Cause of death, sleep apnea. Discovered by her daughter, Tabitha Chrysanthemum Scarlet. No autopsy performed. Edwardine Scarlet. Born April 9th, 1913. Died February 12th, 2003. Okay, so she was 5 when the mine collapsed. Okay. Cause of death, heart failure. Signed by her granddaughter, Pearl Ann Scarlet. Pretty normal. Almost made it to 90. Died of normal old person illness. Enoch Scarlet. Born September 9th, 1887. So Enoch was 13 plus 13, 26 when Edwardine was born. Okay. Died August 20th, 1957, age 69. Cause of death, fall from cliff. This one had a coroner's report attached. Organs sustained impact injuries, lacerations to the neck and body consistent with fall from great height. You quickly flip through a few of the other Scarlets whose names aren't quite as familiar. Theodore Scarlet. Born May 24th, 1890. Died 1918, aged 28. So he was... So if Enoch was 31, he was 28. Okay. Cause of death, crushed in mine, collapse. Body not recovered. Signed by his brother, Enoch Scarlet. So we know that's incorrect because we just saw a vision about Enoch and Teddy talking after the mine collapse. So clearly his body was not unrecovered. Joseph Scarlet, born April 1914, died June 1944. Louis Scarlet, born August 1920, died June 1944. Okay, so they were Edwardine's younger brothers. Both killed at Normandy in the line of duty. That must have been Edwardine's brothers. Certificate of fetal death, infant boy, Andrew Charles Scarlet. Delivered April 3rd, 1945. Stillbirth. Mother, Edwardine Scarlet. Ah, that is what happened to the child she had with Charlie. Cause of death, complications during birth. No doctor present. Home burial. That's not suspicious at all. There were no doctors present at the birth and a home burial. There's some information missing there. Alexandra Scarlet. Born July 12th, 1946. Died August 20th, 1957. So she was 4 plus 7 is 11. She was 11, and it says that she's 9. Missing, presumed dead. Signed by mother, Edwardine Scarlet. So she listed her she died on the same day as Enoch. And the math is wrong. Because if she was 9, she should have been born in 48, not 46. This is weird. This is weird. Alexandra, the owner of the doll. So she went missing. Mary Bell Scarlet, born April 3rd, 1947. You know what? Hang on. So Alexandra was born July of 46. And April of 47. Okay, hang on. July, August, September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April. Wow. This was like, have Alexandra and immediately get preggers again. Okay, hang on. So it's April to July. I think if maybe Alexandra was actually born in April and is actually this baby, then she'd be even older, so maybe not. This is just so weird. Cause of death, complications during childbirth, signed by her mother, Edwardine Scarlet. Whatever these visions are, they're making me very suspicious of my family. That's probably a good thing, right? The Scarlets have always seemed like one of those old money families with a ton of secrets. And that estate up on the hill seems like the kind of place that's seen at least one murder. Maybe you should try to stay away from that place. I should probably get going. Stella's still missing, and the stone here finally stopped yelling at me. That might be a little tricky. The doc is on the warpath up there. I refused to take my medicine, and she's not happy about it. But after I looked this up, there was no way I was going to take anything she gave me. She's been poisoning me for years. I went ahead and blocked my door so she can't get down here. Now we just have to wait her out. But why would your mom poison you? I don't know. But the internet says this is castor bean. It's used to make ricin, a super deadly poison that causes some of my exact symptoms. And death, usually. The thing I can't figure out is whether she's been trying to kill me slowly or if she just likes keeping me sick enough to be dependent on her. Either way, I don't think I've ever had an illness. I think the illness was me growing up and becoming less easy to control. She sure found a cure for that. Ricin is really bad. How are you not dead? I don't know. Maybe it's low enough doses, or maybe I developed a tolerance, but I think the fact that I feel more and more alive by the minute is enough proof that she was keeping me sick. Don't even need solid evidence. No matter what, we should get out of this basement soon. Where would we go? The only person I know who has a car is Kanika, and she's not answering her phone. I don't know anyone else. I don't have any other family to go to. I never even finished high school. When I get out of this house, I don't know how I can make sure I don't wind up right back down here. One step at a time. Let's just start by waiting out your mom and getting out of here. You shouldn't call her my mom. As far as I'm concerned, she's forfeited that title. I don't even think I should call her doctor. She's just some woman now. Can't wait for her to be in the rearview mirror of the rest of my life. We'll see if we can wait her out. If she doesn't fall asleep by 10, we can figure something else out. These windows are supposedly shatterproof, which she always said was for burglars. Now I assume it was yet another way to keep me boxed in. But we can try to break them anyway. A distraction seems like a good idea. As you can probably tell, I'm getting a little jittery. You know, this is a great time to put up the content warning again. Because we're about to get to the content warning part of this chapter. Yeah. Remember, kids, this is a horror game. Just because it's pretty art and no moving parts does not mean it's not a horror game. It is indeed a horror game. Maybe it's the lack of poison in my system for the first time in years, or the fact that my whole perception of reality has been turned on its head. Probably a combo. It doesn't feel awful, to be honest. So, if we're gonna get some time to kill, we could always watch a movie. I'm really into horror movies, as I'm sure you could tell, and it's been so long since I had somebody over to watch one with me. You know, I've been wanting to share She No Cheat Deathblood with someone for years. Reese gets the movie set up and joins you on the bed. Let me know if it gets to be too much for you. I'm not a great judge of how other people will react to the sort of things I watch, but I definitely don't want you to feel uncomfortable. This is a slow burn of a movie, but the dread it's managing to build is palpable in the room. Or maybe that's just how it feels down here all the time, what with the grisly paintings, lack of lighting, cinder block walls, and, of course, the fact that the woman currently lurking upstairs had been poisoning her son since his teens. I've seen a couple of this director's other films, and they're all interesting, though this is probably the best introduction to his work. The way it jump cuts to seemingly unrelated TV show recordings that then wind up tying back into the narrative adds a level of realism and depth to the world that I find really engrossing. It's found footage used to its fullest. I can't believe I'll be able to just do things from here on out, like watch movies with another person, or talk to people, ever. You can hear the difference in energy now that Reese hasn't had his daily dose of poison. He's uncharacteristically chatty, clearly not used to talking to another person, let alone when he has the energy to carry on a long conversation. Uh-huh. Oh, sorry, I'm talking too much. I'll let the film speak for itself. A man on the screen yells portents of doom into the camera, trailing off into a wordless scream. The plot is really heating up. I love that there are all these distinct sort of vignettes, little pockets of horror that affect a small number of people, and only once you start to see how they fit together can you realize some fundamental horror about the universe. And then it sees you back. Incredible, cosmic horror in the truest sense. Reese is becoming very animated. It's probably safe to assume that he's dealing with a lot of extra adrenaline right now, what with his entire reality turning out to be a lie. But he's also talking over the movie. You know, I think I'd better get going. Oh no, did I do something wrong? I'm sorry. I know I'm probably being more talkative than usual. I'm just feeling a little jittery. You don't have to leave. I can settle down. We just have to wait a little longer. Then that woman will be asleep, and we can both leave without anything going wrong. There's a knock on the window. Oh, hello, Wayne. Pibbs, don't get any closer to that thing. It's time to go home. That voice. I know that voice. Without another word, Wayne starts pounding on the supposedly shatterproof window. Enemies upstairs, enemies outside. We're surrounded. Even if I get out of this house, I won't be safe. You won't be safe. What do you mean? Wayne isn't going to hurt you. He hasn't hurt anyone. That's actually not what I want to do. That is not the choice I want to make. That was a misclick. I think you might be overreacting. That's only because you don't know what kind of danger you're in. I know what it's like to have my life stolen by someone else. It destroys you in every way, but I'm not weak anymore. No more cowering. If someone tries to hurt me, I should hurt them back. And I can do the same for you, Pibbs. We're in this together. The window shatters. As Reese tears at his clothes, paint bubbles out from the canvases, his ghoulish figures peeling themselves out of the two-dimensional worlds, invading yours, crawling up the walls. Grab my hand, I'll pull you out. Leave us alone! Ugh. In a surge of violence, the change that has been brewing inside Reese finally comes. As it manifests, the broken basement window is sealed off, and Wayne along with it. You've seen enough to know you need to leave. You run up the stairs. The door is blocked by a chair, and then it's blocked by something else, too. You toss the chair out of the way and tear through the paintings covering the door. They stretch and rip, yellow and red globs of paint coating your hands in place of viscera. Finally, the wood slippery in your painting grip, you fling the door open. You rush to the front door. But the things from the paintings, his smears, are faster. They flow out from every crack in the wood, flattening themselves against the door frame. You pull, but it's sealed shut, as if they've learned from their first attempt. And then you hear the thunder of massive footsteps coming up from the basement stair. You turn to witness Reese. I can't let anyone leave right now. She might find a way out, but it's okay. I'll make it so she won't be able to hurt anyone anymore. Go back downstairs. You'll be safe there. You size Reese up. You're going to need some heavier firepower than your fists to deal with him. I'm not going to let you kill your mother. You won't be able to stop me. It has to be done, Pibbs. I'm sure you'll understand once the moment has passed. Reese turns and disappears deeper into the clinic. We are gonna call Tabby. You dial your cousin's number. Hey, where are you? I'm at the clinic. I think Dr. Kelly's in danger. There's a monster on the loose. What? Don't move a muscle. I am coming to get you. Your cousin hangs up the phone. Let's follow him. You make your way to the door that beckoned to you yesterday, all intrigue now washed away. You know where it leads, and you know what secrets the stone that lurked in the forgotten basement of the clinic had to share with you. Now the clinic holds a new horror. Somewhere beyond the narrow hallway leading from the house proper into the doctor's office, there's a monster preparing to do something unthinkable. Open the door. You grasp the handle and turn. Dr. Kelly emerges from the shadow and levels a firearm in your direction. You instantly notice it's not a proper rifle, but some kind of tranquilizer gun. Duck. Yeah. You're quick to follow her command, your body falling forward and rolling gracefully out of the harm's way. She shoots. The gun isn't very loud. There's only a pop as the projectile leaves the barrel, wheezing through the air. You turn to see a dart embedded in Reese's chest. He pulls the tranquilizer dart out of his chest, heaving heavy breaths as the drug courses through his system. You're going to have to try harder than that, you... No, how did you... As if you could hope to stop me, you pathetic waste of flesh. Before Wayne takes another step down the stairs, paint flows out between the cracks in the wood, Reese's panic pulling in a mob of furious smears to hold his enemies in place. The artist darts away, but the smears continue their work in his absence. Dr. Kelly makes her escape down the hallway, and Wayne is overcome, glued in place at the top of the stairs by stiffening globs of paint. I think I need the axe. You need to arm yourself. You rush down to the morgue, practically flying down the steps. The axe is still lying on the floor where you and Reese left it. You pick it up. A feeling of safety settles in your chest as you grip the wooden handle. At least, if you have to fight, you're prepared. Hey! Dr. Kelly's voice crackles out of some unseen speaker. You! Pibbs! I'm stuck in the safe room. I can't help you from here, but you can help the both of us. What the hell is your son, ma'am? I wish I knew. He was fine until he hit puberty. Everyone said raising a teen was going to be a bitch, but they didn't know the half of it. I need you to get to the medical storage room. I'll give you further instructions when you're there. Okay, let's go through there. Axe in hand, you rush up the stairs from the morgue and into the medical storage room. I'm here. Great, now listen to me. I need you to use the black taped key to get into the cabinet and bring me the elephant tranquilizers. It's a bottle labeled carfentanil. Bear tranquilizers clearly aren't going to cut it anymore. An intercom system, huh, Doc? Good. You should hear this. Pibbs, you don't have to do anything she says. I'm not going to hurt anybody else. Just her. If I don't, you and I both know she's just going to shoot me full of elephant tranquilizers? Did I hear that right? And shove me back down in the basement. Or maybe someplace even worse. And keep killing me every day for the rest of my miserable existence. Oh my god. I hate when I, try to breathe liquids. Also, this is a great time to use our axe on Reese. Also, I know it's his elbow, but it totally looks like a shark fin. I feel amazing right now. Better than I've ever felt in my life. I'm not dangerous. She's just scared because she knows she has to finally pay for what she's taken from me. I'm not going to let you kill someone, Reese. Why not? She wasn't afraid I might die. Does she know those tranquilizers aren't going to kill me? Does she care? Yet she's a doctor, she knows. Trust me, Reese. I've always been careful with your medication. I want you to live. I love you. Tell yourself whatever lies you have to, Mom. If you wanted a good relationship, you had your chance, and you decided to convince me I was dying instead of just letting me exist. Don't try to spin it like some kind of crime of passion now that the consequences are staring you in the face. Enough. Reese cries out in pain. Oh, what the hell did you do to my shoulder? I'll handle it. Try to get somewhere safe until then. The two stagger off down the hallway. Quick, grab the tranquilizers and head to the safe room. I sort of wonder if I can help. You do as she says. The tranquilizers are easy to find, marked with a small square of black tape to match the key. She's certainly an organized woman. Let's help Wayne fight Reese. You grip on the axe tightens, the wooden handle rough against your calloused palms. You hack through the animated smears of Reese's paintings and follow the dueling figures. As you enter the room, you see your opening. You sink your axe into Reese's chest, leaving a gaping wound. I thought we were friends. I guess I was wrong. The wound quickly starts to stitch itself back together. I don't need your help. Stay out of my way. There's no need for you to get into the middle of things. As Reese finishes reconstituting his chest, Wayne shoves you back down the hall. Reese's smears rush to fill the space between you. Your path cut off, you make your way to the safe room. I wonder what happens if you make the other choice and choose to help Reese fight Wayne. Your grip on the axe tightens, the wooden handle rough against your calloused palms. You maneuver around the animated smears of Reese's paintings, following the dueling figures. You raise your weapon and strike Wayne. I'm growing tired of these antics, Pibbs. Leave me to my work. Before you can swing the axe, you're knocked back, Wayne's palm striking your chest, knocking the air from your lungs. There's nothing more you can do here. Your pride wounded, you make your way to the safe room. I'm okay with that. As you approach, Dr. Kelly heaves open the door, slowly breaking apart the mass of paint sealing it shut. Hurry, I don't think I can keep it open for long. You slip past her into the safe room. She shuts the door quickly, though one of the little smears manages to slip past her. She stomps on it. Painted viscera splatters across the cement floor. It sounds like Reese and your friend are still fighting. We probably have a few minutes before he gets here. What is this room? Old x-ray room, lead walls. After I realized the whole situation was a possibility, had the door reinforced with special remote-controlled locks. Glad it could finally come in handy. Let's talk Reese. Yeah, I bet you have some questions. Go ahead. I've nothing left to hide. When did you find out? A little after he hit puberty. He had all the usual changes, then a few extras. Thickened nails, sharp teeth, elfish ears. I figured he might have some kind of genetic disorder, had him checked out a few specialists, but there was nothing obviously wrong with him. Then we had an argument, and he changed right in front of me. It was nothing like what he is now, just a couple of inches and some facial abnormalities, enough to be noticeable. I was scared he could see that, and he stopped. I thought it was a one-off, or maybe a hallucination. But the second time, it wasn't as subtle, and it didn't go away as easy. That's when I knew for sure that this was something beyond my realm of expertise. How did he not know what he was? I've been medicating him since he was 12. We've only had 3 incidents like this before, maybe 4 depending on what counts. This is the worst one by far. He doesn't seem to understand at first that he looks different, and I just make sure to stay on top of his dosages, so he rarely ever does. But I've been preparing for this inevitability. He's an adult now. There's only so much I can do to control him. Why did you start poisoning him? Dr. Kelly sighs. Can we stop calling it poison? Yes, it's poison, but the act of me giving him poison was not me poisoning him. I was medicating his illness. It started when he was around 15. I'd been giving him increasingly high dosage of Klonopin, but his body kept adapting and his symptoms would come back, especially if we ever fought. I couldn't keep ordering all those drugs. It was already suspicious, and I could risk losing my license, especially if anyone ever found out what I was using them for. Someone approached me with a solution. I took it, and I've been dealing with the emotional and mental consequences of that decision ever since. Who approached you, and what did they say? Dr. Kelly gives you a long, hard look. I don't want to talk about that woman, but screw it. I might die tonight, sure. I'll tell you. It was Sybil. I don't know how the hell she found out. Maybe Reese had an episode while he was over at her place. Who can say? I thought she was insane. She was telling me to give my son ricin like it was a mystical mountain folk cure for fussy teenagers. ... She was right, though. And I hate that. I hate the power it meant she had over me. Still has. Don't trust her, Pibbs. She puts on that sweet old lady act, giving everybody tea and talking about healing magics or whatever. But she's a snake. Or maybe she's a cat. What is he? At first I thought he was some kind of werewolf. But if he is, he doesn't follow any kind of full moon rules or anything. Silver doesn't do shit to him. And you've seen what he looks like. It's just weird. I almost wish I could examine him while he's fully transformed. I'd be fascinated to know what happened to him, or how his body does it. But he seems pretty hell-bent on ripping my throat out, so I guess that'll have to remain a mystery. Was his dad similar? A strange little smile creeps onto Dr. Kelly's face. I wish I knew. Reese just kind of happened. I wasn't seeing anyone, I just woke up pregnant one day. I know how impossible that sounds. I'm a doctor, for Christ's sake. I kept having these weird dreams, almost like sleep paralysis episodes. Romantic sleep paralysis episodes. They were actually kind of sweet, but they were just dreams. But then, all of a sudden, my period stopped, I got morning sickness, and roughly 9 months later, Reese. Okay, so, one, dream demon. Two, I wonder if that's what happened to main character's mom and why she was so freaked the hell out. Don't know. Don't know. I sort of wonder if it's the entity. Like, I think the entity is Teddy, but I wonder if it's the entity. But I also think that the entity is possessing Wayne, which would make Wayne Reese's dad, which is weird. But it would also make Wayne our dad, which is less weird. Yeah. Yikes. Okay. The relationship between you seems so difficult. Well, you have been poisoning him, lady. Yeah, you could say that. He was such a cute kid. When I found out I was pregnant, I was terrified. I didn't know if I'd be ready, but he made me love being a mom. It's not like it was going to be sunshine and roses forever, no matter what. Kids grow up and they change, sometimes for the worst. This is part of being a mom, too. Doing what you can to make sure the child you brought into the world isn't going to go around eating people. Yeah, that's a fight that every mom has. How do you know he's dangerous? Well, he wants to murder me, so that's clue number one. It's not like he's usually a violent kid. He's mostly just sad. But every now and then, we butt heads, and that's usually when this side of him comes out. Imagine if this happened anytime he gets frustrated with anyone. Imagine he gets a road rage one day, turns into a 12-foot monster with a million teeth, and rips somebody apart in the middle of a major metropolitan area. Yeah, he's dangerous. I can fix him. Why not just kill him? ... You think I haven't tried? At the very least, poison isn't the way to do it. I haven't resorted to any violent measures. Maybe if he was weak and they knew where to hit him, somebody could do it. But I just can't bring myself to do that kind of thing to him. I couldn't look him in the eye while I did that, and then he'd be gone. I don't want him to be gone. He's my kid. I love him so much. He has a lot to offer the world, even if he's stuck in his room for the rest of his life. What's the game plan, both short and long term? Well, I pump him full of elephant tranquilizers, then I lock him in here. Then I somehow convince him to see things from my perspective. Then we all live happily ever after. And if he manages to find a way out and kills you, not gonna let that happen. While we're at it, any other secrets you're keeping? You have it all. You have no idea how relieved I am to finally say all this shit out loud. You and Dr. Kelly sit in silence and wait for her son to make his way to you. The sound of distant breaking glass cuts through the silence of the clinic outside and safe room. Shit, this might be game time. Dr. Kelly opens the door. The two of you stare out into the hallway. He's got like hippopotamus teeth. Also, he sort of looks like a terrible, weird horse person. Is this what you were so afraid of? Yes, Reese, this is in fact what we were so afraid of. Hand over the tranquilizers. This is our shot. Nope, it's Tabitha's shot. Before Dr. Kelly can fire, a different shot rings out. Reese's body's thrown to the wall. Shotgun in hand, your cousin rounds the corner and trains her weapon on his writhing body. Tabitha, what are you doing here? Stop it. Let me sedate him. We can deal with this non-lethally. Are you insane? That thing was trying to kill you. Finish him off, Tabitha. End this. Yeah. It's better to kill him. You know it's better to kill him, Joan. You two, help me drag this thing outside. We're burning it. Also, this gets you cousin bonding time achievement. The three of you stand around Reese's mangled, still twitching body. Your cousin pours gasoline over the body. Then she lights a match. Have I mentioned the content warnings? Because the content warnings are important here. He screams as he erupts into flames. It's inhuman, the ruin of his face incapable of making any recognizable sounds beyond a guttural wail. It seems to last forever, and then it stops. In its absence, there's only the roaring of flames and the sobbing of his mother, staring down at the writhing, burning body of what was once her son. I always knew there was something off about that kid. He had a weird smell. Cry. Tears start to stream down your cheeks as the finality of it all hits you. You all did what you had to do, but that doesn't make this hurt any less. Your cousin, noticing your tears, puts her arm around you and rests her head on your shoulder. Oh, Tabby. And then she steps away. Boy, am I ever glad you showed up. Yeah, that was about to end very badly. Seems like I saved both your skins, so you're welcome. I knew what I was doing. It would have been fine. Yet you let it happen. Come on, Joan. You didn't stop me when I lit the match. Deep down, you knew this was for the best. Did you know what he was? No, but the door was sealed shut, and I got a bad vibe from your call, so I took the gun from my office. I was already armed when I rounded the corner and saw him. Just did what had to be done. Thanks for calling instead of trying to handle this on your own. We make a good team. Sorry, Dr. Kelly. I feel like this is my fault. If you had just left him alone like I asked, then he would have hulked out some other time when no one else was around to call for help, and you'd be dead and he'd be free to lay waste to the countryside. Dr. Kelly falls silent, the flames dancing across her tear-streaked face. I'm sorry, Joan. An acrid smell hangs in the air, the stink of burning flesh stinging your nostrils. But he's gone. There's only a charred pile of ashen bones where his writhing body once lay. Nothing moves, nothing tries to mend itself. There's nothing left to be mended. I am going to bed. Not a word of this to anyone, or there'll be hell to pay. You don't have to tell me twice. Dr. Kelly starts back down the hill towards the clinic, leaving the two of you next to the smoldering ashes. I'm parked down the hill. Let's get out of here. I need a shower. My hair smells like burning corpse. The two of you make your way to the bottom of the hill where Tabitha's car is parked among the sleepy houses of Scarlet Hollow's residential street. She places her gun in the trunk and turns to face you. You're alone right now. Is Stella still missing? I tried calling her a couple of times, but I kept getting her stupid voicemail. Yeah. Shit. Let me think. It's a long shot, but there's a place that might be worth checking out. We're going on a hike. Yay, I have not had this happen. I've not had Tabby lead me here. After a bit of a trek, you and Tabitha stop by the edge of a 2-lane road near the town limits. There, sitting on a log, staring mournfully out at the asphalt, is Stella. You watch her from the underbrush. She's alive, thank God. She sounds more exasperated than relieved. Though you know by now that it's just her trying to cover up genuine emotion. She's deeply relieved and terrified to show such vulnerability. How'd you know she'd be here? It's where her parents died. She ran off after we saw a ghost last night. It just made sense that she'd be here. You should go talk to her, Tabitha. She'd probably be glad to see you. I don't know. We've got baggage. I'll just make things worse. No, you're right. She's been practically begging for us to be closer than we are. It's time I stopped letting my dead mother dictate who I'm allowed to talk to. But I'm not talking to her alone. We're doing this together. The two of you join Stella, perching on the old log on either side of her. God, Tabby, that ghost really did a number on you. I'm so sorry. You had Pips worried all day, you know. Went all over town looking for you. And it looks like you got into some trouble, too. Pips, you're all covered in blood. This is where your parents died, right? Oh, Massive, massive content warnings. Massive content warnings as we watch where Stella's parents died. It's her parents. And that's a semi. Also, we get to see some graphic shit. Just so you know, you have been warned. Please be aware. This would be the graphic shit. Because what happens when you drive a normal car and collide it with a semi is that you drive the car under the semi and it takes the lid off the car. Have you been sitting here all day? Yeah, just waiting. Silence falls over the three of you, the wind rustling in the leaves and the sound of night insects carry on around you, muted in the still night. Nothing happened, though. That's probably for the best. Tabby, did I do something wrong after the accident? What? There's whole years of my life that feel like they just never happened. Like every time I try and remember them, it's blank. I have all these videos sitting on my channel that I don't even remember filming. It's scary. Did I do something to push you away? No, all you wanted to do was talk to me, but Pearl Ann wouldn't let you near me. Oh. To the Dead's Moms Club. Let's not say that. Man, fuck Pearl Ann. May she rot in hell. At least she brought us all together. The three of you stare out into the quiet night. I think the accident is probably why I got into ghost hunting. I think I just wanted to see them again. I wanted to know whether I ever could. I never found anything, so I eventually gave up. Then last night happened, and I ran out here to see if maybe it would happen with them, too. Even if it meant seeing the crash again, or seeing them all messed up and dead. I just wanted to see them. It's been a whole day. I don't think they're coming. Do you want to say goodbye? Stella sits in silence for a long moment, her breath slow and even. Goodbye. I love you. Don't worry about me. I'm going to be fine. Oh my god, this is making me cry. Shit. Sorry, guys. She's silent again, as if waiting for a response. No response comes, but she smiles, a lively glimmer returning to her sad eyes. That kind of felt better. I don't think I realized how much I kind of trapped myself in my own head. Thank you for breaking me out of it, you two. Stella straightens up, stretching her back. Gretchen wags her tail, tags jingling in the quiet night air. We should probably head back, right? I haven't slept in a day. You keep the events that transpired at the clinic to yourself, at least for now. The three of you and Gretchen make your way back through the woods before arriving at Stella's house. This is me. Thanks again, you two. Come on, Pips. I think there's a carton of ice cream with the Scarlet name on it. Tabby, wait before you go. Aww. Stella wraps your cousin in a tight hug. Don't be a stranger, okay? Never again, I promise. Oh. You and Tabitha quietly return to the estate and make your way to the kitchen, where she pulls out 2 pints of banana chocolate chunk. She puts one on the table and wordlessly thrusts the other into your hands. I'm sure there's a lot you want to talk about, but we're both here, we're both safe, and have both had a long week. Let's just exist together. Ooh, ice cream social achievement unlocked. Yay. The two of you stand in the kitchen, quietly eating banana-flavored ice cream, while Frou-Frou purrs gently in her sleep nearby, an oasis of calm. But as Tabitha's spoon scrapes the bottom of her empty pint, the moment ends. All right, I'm off to bed. You should try and get some sleep, too. Here's hoping tomorrow is uneventful, right? Thanks for this. Your cousin leaves for her room. Your body breaking down from the stress of the day's events. There's nothing left for you to do but head to bed. Exhausted beyond belief, you stumble into the room and collapse on the bed. As your eyes sink, you realize that something smells off about the room. It smells rotten. You jolt awake as the door creaks. Don't look so frightened. I was just going to say goodnight, and to give you a word of advice. Tabitha won't be around tomorrow, too busy at the mines. Forbidden places won't be forbidden without her there to stop you, and you might be surprised at what you find. Okay, but we already went to the Forbidden Wing, and we found, I think, you playing the piano, dude. Until then, sleep well. Wait. Hi there. Yeah, that's right. He just wanted to tuck you in. I have so many fucking theories about Wayne. Ugh. If it's true that Teddy is the entity and the entity is Wayne, and it's true that Vivian was so freaked out about being pregnant because she also had a weird dream sex person, and the entity is actually what knocked Vivian up, then the entity is the main character's father. And that makes Wayne our dad. And that is creeptastic. And I kind of love it. I'm not sure that's actually a realistic theory. I do think that he's the entity, and I do think that Teddy is the entity. I don't entirely know what's up with the fact that the entity is in, like, Sam Wayne's body, but it's entirely possible that, like, Pearl Ann murderated him. And, like, just kind of, left the body for the entity to be in, I guess. I wonder if that's why the goat, to, like, shove the entity into the goat. I don't know. Wait. Wayne pauses at the door. Yes. I hate the fact that there's an ability to flirt with Wayne, because that is just terrible. Did you know Reese was like that? I knew he was different. How exactly, I wasn't sure. But now I know. I thought you might have done something bad to Stella. I didn't have to. She didn't have it in her to stand by your side. Remember that. She won't be there if you need her. What? I thought you wanted me to stay at the estate. Aren't you going to lecture me? You were free to make your own decisions. And those decisions have been made. I know that something pulls at you, and I know that now you cannot stop until your task is finished. I'll keep you safe while you do what you must. Why are you following me around? Why not Stella or Kanika or Sybil? Why not Tabitha? Because you're special. But why? Why am I so special? You simply are. Do you not feel the ties that bind us? They're unbreakable. Good night, Pibbs. Wayne leaves your room and closes the door behind you. The damp smell of the mattress is starting to become almost welcoming, a sign that the now daily horrors of Scarlet Hollow are finally behind you, at least until the sun inevitably rises once again. You close your eyes, your exhausted body succumbing to sleep almost immediately. As you drift off, you think of Reese and the way his mangled but still living body writhed in his funeral fire. And then you think of nothing. This is the end of Chapter 4. Oh boy. Okay. So this is our Pibbs save. Yes, we saved. I think I am on all those things. Oh yeah. I wonder if I actually made it onto the Alpha testers list. I don't remember if I like listed myself or filled out the form to not get listed. Because like super don't remember, but I think not. Okay. Well, that was chapter 4. And 2 hours and 44 minutes later, here we are. But yeah. I am a fan of this game. And let's see, we gotta update our grid. Let's see, where is our grid? Here's our grid. So we gotta update that this person is over here. So that's finished chapter 4 as well. We didn't really start, actually, like, officially start a romance with anyone in this chapter. But let's make a note that this is good friends with Tabby. Ice cream social. Yeah, because we're such good friends with Tabby that she took the brunt of the spirit for us, and and we had ice cream after she told Stella that she's never going to be a stranger again. So that was good. I think, well, I might do Street Smart Kenai next, but I don't know. I've got quite a few more, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I got 14 more builds to go through. And I've gone through 7 because there's 21 options because 7 by 7. So slowly but surely we will get through all of them in time for chapter 5 coming out. But yeah, it is 1:30 in the morning for me, so I think it might be time to go to sleep. I don't know if there's anybody around to raid. Who's streaming? Is anybody I know streaming? No. I guess that means no raiding. Well, actually, let me see. I want to see if anybody else is maybe streaming it. Oh, there are a couple of. There's a couple of people. This is Pokemon Scarlet. That's not the same. Yep, nope. I'm the only one actually running it. These are old Pokemon people. Not the same, guys. Not the same. Think I'm the only live channel. Oh well. I guess we can't even do that for a raid. Oh well. Sorry, folks. Thank you for sticking around and hanging out. And I'll be back with more other games, but also more of different trait combinations for this game. Have a lovely Thursday. I guess it's technically Friday here. And see you around Twitch later.